Hey, what's up, everybody? Before we start this, this video had a much different impact on me than I anticipated, and I wanted to send a message out to Ed and an apology as well. I remember fighting for you and trying to get to the bottom of this, because when I heard the Hot Wet Soup episode, it just made absolutely no sense to me. It was completely nuts, and then I was sort of derailed when this came out, which the evidence wasn't available at the time, and I was kind of being pigeonholed into supporting somebody who sends nudes to underage kids, and of course that doesn't look as true as it did back in today than it did back in 2017. But I have a certain amount of certain apologies to make to you specifically. When you didn't fight back, and there seemed to be no other episode. There didn't seem to be much recourse. I just fell back into what I usually do, and I only save the pedo jokes for the people who deserve it the most, and that's pedos. And Zaptie, I'm so terribly sorry. I hope we get this right. I hope this makes up for it.
Clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep
I just want to get we have a little bit of a change of plans. We're going to get right into Nick's video, which is just blowing up right now, as it well should. We are in the beginning of righting a wrong, something that I was on the trail of back in 2017. I almost got it, but they threw the pedo stuff at me, and I stopped investigating, and I just gave up and started telling the jokes just like everybody else. Nick has done some tremendous work, and I've seen it, but I didn't see it framed like in the finished product, and I feel like I had a missed opportunity, especially when the Nick Cash stuff came up. I should have figured this out. I was close, but no cigar, and I did. You mentioned in the video, like,
well, when your victim is cheating on the person that's supposedly abusing her, that's a really fucked
I know.
up situation.
It's like, I mean, I literally, I find it amazing that a guy who basically caught him in a lie, he took responsibility, and I found out about the stream only a couple months later, saying that I was just doing it or suggesting that I was just doing it for views or something like that. No, I actually gave a shit, Alex. And admitting no wrong, and then meeting the asshole in London a year later, and then him telling, I did really handle, I bobbled this, but in the same breath he says he wasn't wrong. It's unfucking believable to me. It's unfucking real. I knew this was fucked from the start. I knew this was fucked, and VWQ was 24. We were all older back then. Thanks so much, Augie. I mean, I knew this was fucked. I knew it was out, and they fucking derailed me figuring this out by throwing the pedo stuff. Like, we're gonna make you a pedo too. Fuck you, Alex. God help you if you ever run into me again. What you did to this fucking guy is unbelievable. And you, Anthony, holy shit. You better have some real big explanations coming up in the next couple days.
That's a lot of money, I guess. For
my fucking God.
I know what he's going to say. He's going to go, well, there's other girls. And then
bring it, because you don't got it. And here's what. How about this? Not going
to bring it.
Is that the same shit we heard with Slazo? Isn't it the exact same shit? There's all these. How about this? They're never coming out, just like they never came out with Nick Cash. It's never going to happen. I don't believe you. Where's
the police report? Where's the police report?
It's not. It's almost identical to Slazo in the way it was handled, and the same excuses were made when they were told it was mishandled. The only people that handled this mildly right or least tapped out were Pig and fucking Elvis.
Pig and Elvis seemed like they got more wrapped into this than anything else.
It does.
Maybe
I was brutal on them, too.
They said their fair share of shit, but when they realized that this was a little...
Elvis ain't a bad guy.
They fucking dialed back. The problem is Alex and Anthony doubled down, tripled down, quadrupled down. Everybody else got off the ship, and Alex...
Same story as last time.
Later, Alex, 3 years later, shit talking Zaptie to me in a call about Slazo. Like,
I don't know. The only way Alex can get out of this is, well, he can only say Anthony lied to me. But he's ran his mouth so much to be the central figure in that stupid drama.
How does he get out of this if Anthony lied to me? He's still the guy who was going to move in with Ed, who knew Ed was cheating on girls, who was perfectly fine with it before. But when somebody comes and says, I know you know, he goes up to Ed and goes, well, Ed, the jig's up. There's nothing we can do now. We got to make a podcast. I got 3 days to get these guys together.
I just got a donation. Anthony's last tweet was on cancel culture. Don't worry. You can't cancel somebody who doesn't have something to begin with. Unfucking believable. I want to get right in your fucking thing and just watch a lot of it quick. It's 11 minutes and we'll get into the other stuff.
I just gotta say, that's just part one.
Yeah, I know.
I was actually talking to Ed about this the other day, about how like that entire situation absolutely ruined me. And like he was saying how like it was not my fault and I shouldn't blame myself for
How much you want to bet that conversation never happened?
it, which was nice of him.
So I reached out to Heather with a few questions, and while she wasn't exactly happy to answer them initially, it seemed like she was happy she did by the end of it because her story really hadn't been told since the initial Twitlonger was released. So the first question I asked her right off the bat was how old was she when this took place, because her age had been up for debate, and her response was, I was 14 turning 15, and I told him I was 16 or 17. I don't remember. He wasn't aware. Nobody was. I came forward about my real age eventually, and I knew it was wrong, which is why I decided it needed to be said. And this adds loads of context right off the bat. It's entirely possible that she told him she was 17 because in December she had stated that she was 17 years of age during the Nick Cash situation. So regardless of what she said in the original Twitlonger,
nobody knows how old this girl is. We can't believe her now, then.
I don't even know. I don't even know for sure now.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's a girl. Like,
yeah.
It's possible Zaptie thought she was 16 or 17, since there's so many inconsistencies with the Twitlonger itself. Next, I asked straight up if Zaptie ever sent her nudes, because this has been a topic of discussion, and she responded with, no, he's never sent lewds or nudes or anything of the sort to me. I know he has to other girls.
Where are they, Anthony? Where are they, Anthony?
Because I've been shown them, unfortunately, but never to me. I genuinely don't remember if rumors behind the scenes. Someone mentioned to me that there's allegedly a picture of Zaptie floating around with an emoji covering his face and his dick in the picture. Okay. Now, first of all, if this existed, I'm sure all of us would have seen it, because that's what happens in these kinds of situations.
Like Jared, Pro Jared.
Someone who's he's being accused of being a pedophile. So we saw what happened to Pro Jared. I'm assuming on a smaller scale, this would have gotten around, especially with Keem tweeting it. On top of all that, if you show me a picture of an emoji covering the guy's face, I'm inclined at this point, with all the information I have, really to not believe you. Yeah, it's
bullshit. Should have been turned over to the cops.
Been said before, but he said he was planning a trip to Washington to come see me and have sex. And once again,
I taught Alex a valuable fucking lesson on this, and he would go on and on to do it over and over again. I fucked him up 3 years ago. Fucked him in the face. Made him look like a liar. Made him tell 2 different stories. 3, 4, 5, 6 that we saw with Slazo. And he didn't learn a goddamn thing. Talk about sociopath.
Google search away, it shows that Washington had a consent age of 16. So without Zaptie knowing her proper age, it's entirely possible that he had considered this at the time. And to expand upon that anymore would really be condemning Zaptie for a thought crime. Just to clarify what Heather said was true, I asked the same question to Bionic Pig, and this is what he had to say. I never saw anything about actual nudes, just sexting. I remember him messaging me about how
Thank you, Internet. I'm so proud of this community. Thanks, brother. Proud of you too, man. You're going to be a big star.
Sick he felt when he found out how young she actually was. And that corroborates her story. This all checks out. So now it's gone from Zaptie sexting minors to Zaptie's been talking dirty to...
I do got to remind you that these tweets were not Keem defending fucking Zaptie.
Those are satirical.
Yeah, they're all satirical.
That's a joke. I hope everyone knows that's a fucking joke.
dig it. Just want to make sure. Well, that's why we're doing this.
A girl who was catfishing as someone he could legally have had sex with, but no naked images were even exchanged. So I clarified with Heather, and she said this. Yes, it was legal in the circumstance that no explicitly nude images were sent. Provocative images were sent, but nothing 100% nude.
Those provocative images were there on both ends or just from her?
Just from her, and apparently the pictures in her underwear were on her Twitter and her Instagram.
So anybody could have them. They
were public consumption. They were on social media.
So we have no child porn involved. 0.
So as far as I know, this doesn't even break the fucking law? So after I got that cleared up, I asked another question that would have served as an excellent opportunity for her to play victim if she wanted to do that, to see where her actual motivations lie. And to my surprise, she didn't do that. I asked
That's a
Heather
lot of
how
money,
she felt
I
about
guess,
exposing
for
a
a person
YouTuber
of color.
and how
Thank
she
you.
felt about the backlash she had received, and this is what she had to say. I knew Ed ever since he had 600 subscribers on YouTube, so I was one of the people who knew him when he was just starting out his YouTube channel. And honestly, it's been one hell of a roller coaster ride. We would get into Skype calls with my friend Katie. Katie triggers me from Leafy is Here, so it really didn't feel much different when he began to gain as much traction as he did. When we started talking in that sort of way, I knew it was wrong. I knew it would get out in the end. It wasn't my goal to expose him, because
And let's make this clear. He thinks she's 16 at the time, not 13.
I just want to make one thing extremely clear. Scrubby wrote me in the DM group chat a couple seconds ago, like, wow, she sent this to you willingly?
You're a master. There's a theme developing
I
here.
get more confessions than 6ix9ine's judge.
Yeah, so much for the nobody will trust this Keemstar.
Genuinely did like him, and despite our history, he's still a good guy. He's not a sociopath. He's not a pedophile. He's not a fucked up person.
You sure when Zaptie said you're worth going to jail for, he meant killing her? Hey, wow, what a guy was just going. Wild, crazy kid. And by the way, she would do this again.
He didn't know I was that young at the time,
She did!
and that's
Yeah, she
completely
did again.
my fault.
Again.
I was in the middle of that too.
I knew right from the beginning when I posted that twit longer that nothing would be the same regards to my status, reputation, etc. But once all the allegations appeared on Hot Wet Soup, I felt like it needed to be said because some of my closest friends at the time had already known me and him were talking, and I knew it was only a matter of time before it got
pause
out
it, Tommy,
there.
pause it,
No, I
Tommy.
don't wish
I gotta say one thing. Someone just wrote 16 is legal in most states. 16 is legal in every relevant state to the story. Let me just clarify that. Every single possible
Including-
state that could even be relevant
including
to the story,
Canada.
including the country of Canada, is 16.
The UK, by the way, too, you fuckers.
did anything differently. And if anything, it was a step forward to doing the right thing. I don't believe in cancel culture, and a small part of me regrets exposing him in the first place
Why a small part?
because I knew he would make it far and he would become extremely.
I'm glad this girl talked to you, but it's just, and she was a minor at the time, and I guess she still is.
still a
But
minor,
it is just, she is totally out to lunch.
I think now she's the age that Zaptie thought she was. She grew up.
And then she went on to say, I felt like it needed to be said. Revisiting the situation 2.5 years later, now that I've matured and grown up,
No.
I definitely have more headspace to review and think my decisions through. And that pretty much
I'm gonna fuck over PewDiePie this time. You know?
just walks back all the allegations tenfold. Before
I remember that tweet. It pissed me off. We didn't call him a pedo. It was the same type of thing. We don't call him a pedo. We just said he was talking underage girls. I mean,
you start losing your collective minds,
I forgive Pig for all this stuff. I do believe you're right. They were under pressure, and I just don't think they knew what to fucking do. And some of it was probably, self-defense and self-preservation. Same thing I fucking did, so I can't really jump on Pig for this. But, that one was directed at me. And, I just...
Nobody's saying you can't have a knee-jerk reaction. People are saying you can't quadruple down.
No,
That's why I'm not condemning Pig right now.
No.
That's why
I tend to think that I we're pretty far apart on the way we view life. I think Pig and Elvis are really good people, and always have been.
on Heather.
Me
I'm
too,
going to
but
be
I had a
honest.
fight with both of them in the last 6 months.
Yeah. I've gotten fights with them before too. I do generally think they're really good people. I remember Pig had to straighten me out. I was getting a little crazy on election night. But, I do. I think they're good people.
Here, she really didn't have to clear that up. I honestly didn't expect her to clear this up, so I really appreciate her doing that.
Which means they're going to do something horrible next week, probably, if I said that.
The girl was 14 years old when this happens, and I think she made a lot of mistakes, but I'd be disingenuous if I didn't say that I think people had been taking advantage of her and her situation to get back at Zaptie in some way, shape, or form. Do I think she's immune to criticism? Oh, fuck no. But I really appreciate her stepping out of the shadows to clear up an issue that's so commonly misrepresented.
In fairness, I do too. I'm glad Heather did this. She should have done it years ago. I'd like to ask her questions about Nick Cash. She probably doesn't know I was involved in that.
Their biggest pushback at the time came from Tommy C and Danarchy, who was formerly VWQ.
Because I know, first of all, there's no blood test for this.
You better shut the fuck up about me being skinnier. All right, chat, you can go fuck yourself. It's a subjective opinion of a trained professional, and that's it. They don't call it sociopathy; they call it antisocial personality disorder. And it doesn't particularly work like this. The field is psychopathy. That's what I want to make sure. Tests out there. There are, from what I understand, they are doing studies on brainwaves and stuff like that, but there's nothing concrete. And for him to say man, no wonder my wife sleeps with me more back then. Look at me. I'd fuck that guy too. Been diagnosed with this. It just doesn't make any sense.
DeOrio had made 3 good videos on the situation, the first of which got him on Tommy's February 15th show. It basically predicted a motive for Zaptie that ended up being one of the most true representations of what Zaptie was doing at the time, and I'll leave a link to that in the description down below if you'd like to check it out. DeOrio appeared on Tommy's stream to go over the last one of his videos, and this podcast is significant for 2 reasons. The first reason is it's really eye-opening how much DeOrio Anthony was involved. Just to give you the backstory, DeOrio Anthony had been a Patreon of Ed. He had been in the same friend circle as Ed. He was,
by the way, it's the exact same story he told me.
Planning to go to VidCon and stay in the same house as Ed. His entire YouTube channel got started by Anthony being inspired by Ed. And now Anthony would never become a major player on the platform, but his hands were all over this specific drama, more so than I think that anyone initially realized. First of all, he spent an entire hour trying to convince DeOrio that Ed was a bad person.
When I spoke to someone directly affected by Zaptie's actions, they told me all the things that he had done and shared with me some of the conversations they'd had. It's not my place to say, it's nobody's place to say, these are private issues. But at the end of the conversation I had with this...
Another thing, whatever you might think of DeOrio or VWQ or the problems that came after this with he
was dead on!
Let me tell you, he was not only he's dead on, but I worked with him and got to know him the whole time. He was absolutely serious about looking out for Zaptie. He knew something was afoot. We just couldn't put the whole thing together. You know,
actually, the statement that's going to come up in the next couple seconds is from 12 o'clock today. When I reached out to him, well, after my thing crashed the first time, I actually got a statement from him that clarifies this. Boy, I just think that's hilarious.
No, but he really gave a shit. He really did. He really did. Now, whatever you think of VWQ, this is one of the reasons we got together, and I think he's doing real good things now, and I'm glad he's back in the scene.
I couldn't have made the video without him this time.
All right, there you go.
They'd spent the last hour trying to convince me that Zaptie is a sociopath. I left even more convinced that these were all signs of depression.
Okay, that's a little weird, but then he tried to convince Tommy of the same thing.
Yeah, but that's the problem. Anthony didn't convince me of shit. In fact, he convinced me of exactly the opposite.
Okay, well, that's just 2 people. I mean, that's nothing crazy sketchy yet. But while this was live, he attempted to call...
We were literally the only people fighting this. They were raining down on us at this point. But we did sort of turn it around. But the only thing we really turned around was and then like Pig and Elvis would go on Dave's show and say, look, yeah, we mishandled that to 6 ways to Sunday, dude. And they had a lot of regret over it. So, you know.
All in.
And I'm not really interested in Anthony coming in. I know I like Anthony, but I think this is Alex's game.
And when Alex does call in,
you wish
Alex
you put him on.
You've spoken to Anthony, I know you have. Anthony had to convince me that Ed was bad.
And now it's getting a little sketchy, but if you think that's sketchy, hold on tight, because you ain't seen nothing yet. Then if you go back to the Hot Wet Soup podcast, you could hear them name drop him.
Some DMs DeOrio Anthony had with him because...
And then it all starts to click. Well, if you look at Heather's initial tweet longer, she cites Anthony as one of the reasons she's coming forward. No, I'm not kidding. She literally...
Alex gagged me with beer. I tell you something, though. Alex kept this going a lot like he did this Lazo thing, and he didn't have to. I don't know that he... I get the feeling it was more in Hojan's corner about the conspiracy end of it. But here we are. All 3 of us are being talked to by Anthony on evidence that he never presented.
Links to one of the tweets that predates her tweet longer, and if that's not crazy enough, he actually tweeted her allegations 2 hours before she made her initial statement and poisoned the well before the victim even had a chance to tell her story. Where Heather in her tweet longer said no nudes were actually sent, Anthony tells a very different tale.
Yup, he fucked over to defend him. And so, Anthony, you motherfucker, you motherfucker. That girl said that didn't happen prior to this happening. I didn't know that. I would have fucking raked you up. No, I should have caught that. I should have been. See, I had him a news team at the time. Nah, Anthony. Nah, Anthony. You were trying to shut everybody fucking up because you know it was bullshit. You tried to shut me up. You knew this was horse shit. You know the victim herself didn't even fucking agree with you. But you literally poisoned the well. And anybody that questioned you, you floated the pedophile allegation around. This is some kind of, I don't know why. I don't know his motives other than what he told us, but I have a feeling it's a little more than $100 a month.
I think he got fucked up. No, I think he got fucked over. I think he was a huge fan. He thought he was friends with the guy.
Then why did he try it again? Did he think this is a ticket to fame?
Maybe.
So Anthony was a Zaptie superfan who was donating not 5, not 10.
We can't verify. That's just what he says.
Not 20, not 50, but $100 a month to Ed. And at one point, he even forked over $400 to get Ed a gym membership, only to find out that Sabrina had already given Ed money towards that, and he pocketed.
Not so much vendetta as it was for the truth to be out. He shouldn't be defended. Half-truths aren't okay. What does that mean? He shouldn't be defended based on evidence that you never provided.
Tommy, don't give this man a platform to defend himself. If we're going that far back.
Yeah, it's literally, you can't be.
Some of Anthony's money, and suddenly, now he's Zaptie's biggest critic, the one that's making these outrageous claims and not backing them up. Well, I got in touch with him too, and this is what he had to say. Yeah, those things were said to me. I can't remember what the word for word was as it was in a call, but I was pledged to him back when I was still at home and had a disposable income. To be fair to him, I had been pledging $100 a month since he had inspired me to start my own channel. But when I left my job, I couldn't do that anymore, and instantly, I got hostility from him in a call. I felt bad about it and thought I was screwing him over, but I just couldn't afford it. I almost kept pledging thinking that I could keep it up for a month or two before I'd have an issue. Ultimately, I didn't, and he still talked to me since we had the same friend circles, but it was definitely colder. I felt pretty used by that point, and since I was pretty naive, I hadn't learned much about dealing with online personalities. And I'm not gonna say anything rash or definitively accuse him of anything, but that's motive, and I think that's undeniable. When you take a look at the blatant fucking lie.
Look, check my tweets you posted. Stop crying. You guys fucked this up. This is what I'm talking about. Take the podcast down. Open up. You go check my tweets, you petulant child. So he was trying to get me to look at the well that he had already poisoned. When the girl said, "This, Anthony, wasn't true," before you poisoned the well. She said this wasn't true. And then Nick talks to her 2 years later, and she says this isn't true. You better come up with a dick pic, big boy. Or new girls. No, he did. He suckered me because I felt bad for him. He gave me this fucking crying story too. I was such a big fan. I wanted to start a channel, and then he screwed me, and then I found out about the girls, and I had to come out and save the fucking girls. I fell for this bullshit.
And the part
masterclass manipulator,
you
Anthony.
You didn't need the girls. You didn't need the girls to bury this guy. If you wanted to bury this guy, you could have buried this guy the right way. This guy fucked me financially. And you go public with that, that's enough to kill most YouTubers.
Yeah, no, but it wasn't enough because when I was going after a stupid sociopath podcast, it was becoming very clear that I was winning the argument, and then they pulled the pedo stuff.
I'm just saying, like, the guy isn't, I'm going to get to this in part 2. The guy's not perfect by any stretch of the word, but, well, being an asshole, being a social climber, talking like shit behind someone's back, being a dick on Patreon, none of those are get the fuck off the platform kind of issues. Yeah. None of those are dox every single part of my life, call Chipotle and try to get me fired kind of issues. That pedophile is that kind of issue. So if you're going to really stress this, you better bring more than you brought.
I like to torture white supremacists, but only the ones with extreme OCD. What? Thank you, Archive. You're very generous.
Is this man posted on Twitter?
What happened? Oh, 1480. Fuck
1487.
I didn't get it. People just
still up 3.
I thought he was in Europe or something. It was
years later. It's so hard not to take this as malicious. Pictures are illegal. It's child porn under 18. It doesn't matter in the eyes of the law. What pictures? I never spread the news.
You got her nudes? Because that's true. It doesn't matter. Child porn.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You got that, Anthony? Where's that, Anthony? Where is it? Did you make it up? Because it looks like you made it up.
Show me when the cops knocked on his door. Come on.
See, I think he's more guilty than I think this guy's more guilty than Alex. Alex is just a fucking idiot. Dangerous.
I'll even speculate. I think he's the guy who threatened Alex in his
I'd like to see that. I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah. I'd like to see hot, wet soup. If you were put under pressure, you really throw these fuckers under the bus. They fucking destroyed your friend. You guys you're on your way to 1 million subs, all of you. And Zaptie was taken down because he was, at worst, a bit of a dick. And I don't know, my experience with him, he was kind of a beta. And
at the end of the day, though, who says he's a bit of a dick?
Here's another thing.
When he admitted that he was a dick.
Yeah. Well, here's another thing.
And
the cheating girls.
He just left.
I was reminded about something when, because I didn't this was just too much for my fucking 40-year-old brain at the time, okay? I was reminded of something that when they said they were cheating on girls. It was e-girls, and we're talking about girls he actually never physically met. I remember hearing that like a month or two later. It's like, wait a minute. I thought he was fucking these girls. No, he was saying one e-girl was his girlfriend, and another e-girl was his girlfriend, and another e-girl. That's cheating in their world.
I talked to a source that kind of gives me some really good information, and we're going to get to that source eventually.
Yeah.
But he told me stuff like, these weren't even really Zaptie's girlfriends. They were just girls he was talking to.
When I met Zaptie, and I thought we were becoming friends, he was very, when I say beta, I should probably say awkward. He was an awkward, fearful person, a social introvert. Like a lot, to me at the time, it was just too much I couldn't take in. I just assumed everybody was an A personality like me, because how else could you do YouTube unless you're an A personality? But I've since learned that you can be a B personality. From what I understand, Elvis is kind of reserved as well. You know, you got to get him a joint and a beer, according to Willie Mack, to get him going. You know, but I just, at the time, I just couldn't. I saw Zaptie as like such a god that I figured he'd be, hey, dude, what's going on? And he was like, hold on, give me a second. I got to get myself together before we go live. I'm like, what? You're Zaptie. You know, it's just like never meet your hero situation.
Well, I think they're all the same. I think
you know, and the way they portray him, he's just like the Mac Daddy fucking all these broads when he's really just talking to a bunch of girls. And they're calling him a cheat. I don't think that's cheating. It's shitty at the very least. Any relationships don't count in my book. They can count in yours, fair enough. But where are the nudes, Anthony? Where are they? Why don't you go to cops? You told me you're thinking about it. That's another thing. I gave you some of your DMs. Yeah, I'll expose you for this shit, Anthony. And he says, we're thinking about going to the police. Isn't that exactly what they said in this Lazo thing? They thinking about going to the police, but nobody ever did.
No, this Lazo thing, they said we just didn't. We just straight up didn't.
Well, no, they were. No, she put it out. What's her name? The so-called victim in this Lazo situation. That her first statement, or her first statement. Was
I got from Dolan Dark that they were not going to the police because they didn't think they had enough evidence.
Well, that's what she said. What the fuck was the broad? I can't forget the name. They said that Jay said they were looking into it. Jay said they were looking into it in her first fucking tweet against Lazo, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I'm almost 100% sure. That's exactly what happened.
It's being sent to Heather publicly. That was in this combo only. News. Everything I tweeted is verifiable. Verifiable by who, motherfucker?
Time to verify.
I talk
because you can make me and Nick look really stupid right now.
To the sources, she claimed there was never any nudes sent. So what nudes are you talking about? Who the fuck are you lying to? Heather's statement was literally out 1 hour prior, and even then she could have verified this wasn't true. So you had direct access to her. If I'm able to track this girl down 3 years later, then you could have just sent her a message before you wrote this tweet. Why are you lying? Oh, and we can't forget this one. Skepticism is healthy, but I don't see why it's necessary here.
You're really on your way to be a great liberal. Do as I say, not as I do. Question authority, just not mine. You're really on your way. You should be a fucking high school teacher, you cunt.
Hey, whoa, hey, hold up. Hey, don't question anything I'm saying, guys. Hold on. So we can't call you out on your blatant slander and degenerate bullshit, Anthony? Where the fuck are the other 3 girls, Anthony? You keep claiming there are 4 total...
And didn't I do that in Slazo too? There's other girls. They're coming too. Nope. Never came out. Nope. Not again. Alex tells me, yeah, I was just upset because he cheated. The whole thing, the reason Alex made up because he probably told him. And he was fucking in tears at the end of that podcast, by the way. He was trying to hold him back because I fucked him up so bad. And me being VWQ felt bad for him at that point. But I had heard later that he was cheating with his girlfriend. When I found that out, and I'm thinking he's fucking her. You know? I don't know if I believe that story, but that got me to kind of pull back, right? And he said knew he was wrong, and and he fucked it up. He told me that to my fucking face in London. And then I wouldn't even know. Just a year prior to that, I was like, I was 100% right the whole time. Fuck you, Limey.
Little girls, and I'm only seeing one. And there are shitloads of these tweets. I'm just gonna let them roll while I continue my video. Thank you very much. It's a little telling that guys like.
So this is it, right there. That's why I chickened out.
How do you fight that? How the fuck do you fight
I could have figured it out. Well, I didn't back off when they started pulling it, but I rolled back. I proceeded carefully after that. And part of this does fall on Zaptie. He should have stuck up for himself. He should have straightened it out. We knew the fucking sociopathy thing was horse shit, and I knew he was saying that to avoid responsibility and try to have some kind of stupid explanation to his friends. And I just assumed all three of them just bought it. But then this came in.
Is there a chance that maybe there were other girls and they just don't think they're victims? They just never thought they were victims in the situation?
They might even know they were girl. At this point, we wouldn't even know if they thought they were Zaptie's girlfriend. At this motherfucking point.
Elvis the Alien.
I'm bringing in fucking Willie Mack for the second half of this.
And Bionic Pig had started to move on while this situation kept getting escalated by Alex. Oh, hold on. Wait, I'm sorry. This one's fucking ridiculous. So you're admitting that you withheld this screenshot from the Hot Wet Soup podcast and you were fully aware of...
This wasn't... we heard this before. Didn't we? In the last one?
You debated this in his DMs.
This wasn't the Hot Wet Soup. I protect him. He no longer deserves our... But he deserved it up until the time I was questioning it, Anthony. When I was questioning... And by the way, nobody remember... You didn't find this, Ed. The reason this whole thing started is Alex made an open threat on the internet saying if anybody covers that, they're done. And I was like, hey, BWQ or C, whatever the fuck your name is. This is how I do everything. I've been doing it for years. Don't do something. And I'm the first motherfucker in line to do it. So when
it's not a fat joke, Tommy.
What? Huh?
At least it wasn't a fat joke that started this one, Tommy.
Okay. They said, don't do it or else. And I'm like, why doesn't fucking Ed deserve some kind of defense? Why doesn't he deserve some investigation? And I did pretty fucking good for what I had. Because they had to switch the whole narrative around to pedophilia to get me off the fucking track that I was on. And the track that I was on was figuring this bullshit out. I knew it was bullshit. And maybe Keem knew it on some level.
This happening, but only when people didn't just accept that the most talented guy in your circle was a sociopath. That's when you decided he no longer deserves your defense anymore.
Not when he's a pedo, which is much more serious than being diagnosed with sociopath, which nobody gets diagnosed.
By the way,
that's when I knew it was bullshit. When I took a course in psychopathy when I was a kid, and they stopped calling it that. They don't call it sociopath. They don't call you a psychopath. They call it antisocial personality disorder.
Yeah,
that's when I knew the whole thing was bullshit.
This
right
is a really
the language was off.
In my opinion, this is a very bulletproof point here, because if they if my inference is right here and the what I went for is correct, that's great. If it's not, then I'm happy to make another video talking about how you guys withheld evidence that would have gone to an arrest leading something that leading to an arrest of Zaptie.
That's
withheld.
That's what I got. That's what I told. What did you know? When did you know it?
Yeah, it's best case scenario.
They thought that was going to chase me away. I said,
worst case scenario, you covered it up.
That's what I did back in 2017. I said, okay, he's a pedophile. Why are we hearing this now? They didn't have it. It's unbelievable. The same tactics.
It's the same thing as the Slazo thing. We withheld some evidence in case he makes a response.
By the way, there was no response.
Yeah, no.
I dare you to make a response, Anthony. I dare you. I'll eat it alive. You have to change your name to Zaptie to get credibility again. When I'm done. Should have known you were no fucking good. You really fooled me. Maybe he fooled Alex too. But Alex is so stupid, right? He's so fucking dumb. He probably heard all this, but he may even be legitimately fooled by that guy. But he just can't say I'm wrong. He has to double down, and he gets himself in more trouble. I mean, the same thing with Lazo. He finds out, he sees Lazo's video. Instead of going, that bitch lied to me. He doubles down and says he admitted to everything. Oh, wait a minute. He did that here too. Ed admitted to everything. Ed admitted to nothing you accused him of that level. Nothing.
Ed admitted to being an asshole. Like I'm saying he kind of was. Ed did not admit to being a pedophile.
Ed did not admit, and Ed took back the whole sociopath thing.
And then even Alex fought him on that. He came out and told the truth, and Alex fought him on it.
Yeah. You're screwing up my narrative, mate.
What kind of logic is that, Anthony? He's only a pedophile when he doesn't go quietly. How about you call the cops if you got so much evidence, Anthony? But you didn't, did you? Yeah, that's what I fucking...
This is when he told me right here that he was thinking about going to the cops. I did not know anything made. We had all the inklings of allegations, but nothing was stated in the podcast was in allegation intentionally. What does that mean? How did I get fooled by this idiot? That is why you check Zaptie's Twitter and he tweeted the podcast out. It wasn't allegations. He fessed up to what was discussed. Yeah, but even though I knew it was bullshit because the way you guys were talking about it, clearly nobody understood it. But myself and others kept divoting why other girls came forward, which we never met. I decided to take a break. I felt the information. No, this isn't the one. We explored the authorities as well. Yeah, they explored it in fucking Shay's case as well. Unfucking believable.
Thought. And speaking of people who don't call the cops, I'm dead serious. This
is the Nick Cash thing that I was also involved with.
This was in December of 2016, around the time that Heather was involved with Zaptie, but the same 3 people are involved simultaneously with an entirely different catfishing situation on an entirely different YouTuber. Are the red flags flying yet? And if you're curious, these allegations went from, well, Nick Cash is sexting children, to, don't...
By the way, Nintendo Babe and Anthony, I have fucking video of me telling you had nothing on Nick Cash. I showed it to him because I went back and checked. I told you don't have a thing. Told Nick Cash that as well. But
I feel like Toon busted pedo is better than these guys.
Toon's a fucking Sherlock Holmes compared to these guys. or they're doing it on purpose.
Well, Blacks, call Bunny. We got to get the real team involved.
Yeah. But, this Bobex is dope. Toon fucked up. This feels more sinister. I feel like we're missing something on motivation. Not that it matters. No one is calling him a pedo. I love this. No one is calling him a pedo. What I said was true. He's talking to underage girls. You might as well call him a pedo. I'm so sick of that beast. I mean, fucking Nintendo Babe. God, you guys are so irresponsible.
Exchange nude with fans.
Or you're stupid, or you're vicious, evil. There's no other way to look at it.
The second Hey Watch Your Mouth asked him to
pick one. I'd take stupid if I were you.
Show portions of the screenshot where Nick verified her age. I don't know the whole situation. I'm not well versed on the situation, but I do know one thing. It never went anywhere. Shocker coming from these people. Yeah, it's sketchy, but now let's get back to the plot. Now I'm second guessing literally fucking everything that I see, and I see this message I originally ignored entirely, and notice it says, weird question, did you save those pics? I'd have no issue if you did. Right there, blatantly on. Who the fuck asks a question like that? Listen, I'm not in many e-relationships because I'm a fan of turning Discord off once in a while, so somebody who might be into this, please fill me in and let me know, is this fucking normal? Oh, man, you know those pics that people think are illegal? Can you just clarify that you've saved them on your hard drive? I mean, that's such a perfect screenshot. It almost looks like she was fishing for it, for God's sake. And now I'm clearly speculating, so I threw up a Hail Mary pass and attempted to get in touch with Heather.
So that shows that Heather was flirting with him and saying she was fucking how old? What am I looking at here? Just explain.
Or this one?
Yeah, this is Heather. This is
Heather and Zaptie are talking. Heather drops, weird question. Did you save these images? Like, did you store these images on your phone's hard drive? Okay, good. That's just a screenshot that happened to be one of the 3 that were released. Is that not the most perfect screenshot you've ever seen in your life?
It's beautiful. I did. I love taking pictures of you.
There's 3 screenshots. Yeah. One of them talk about him commenting on her nudes. One of them talks about him storing the nudes on his phone's hard drive. And the other one is you're worth getting arrested for. I want to know what's in between all of that.
But whoa. And she just told you she sent him no nudes.
No, they're not nudes. In the picture that he's talking about says, I wish I could take that bra off. Meaning that she was wearing clothes.
Oh.
It's the same thing as sending an underwear.
And let's make this clear.
It's identical to the ones that were on her Twitter.
And she wasn't 13. She was more like 15 at the time. But she was telling him.
She was 14, 15.
And how old?
The same underwear pictures were on her Twitter that she sent to him.
Why would Anthony put so much stock in this girl who obviously is getting a fucking rise out of fucking over YouTubers?
He thought he could make a career.
That's what it feels like to me.
Something wrong. Yeah.
Didn't work, thankfully. YouTube God spoke on this one.
And miraculously, by an act of God, she agreed to answer my questions.
Underage nudes. T said it. Underage nudes. So they weren't nudes. They're probably shit that was on her fucking Instagram account or whatever it was. I haven't looked at the chat the whole fucking time. Hello, everyone.
They're definitely lewd photos, Willie Mac. They are definitely lewd photos.
Willie Mac, you want to join us for the Lex part? Because we have other stuff to go.
Yeah. I'll run.
What do you got? What do you got? Start off the question.
Oh, wait. Yeah, if you got questions.
Yeah, I do got questions. Just to clear things up, just because it is a convoluted story, and I just want to point out, I was not here to watch the watch it back in 2016 when all this shit broke. I was very unaware of this.
2017, but yeah.
Was it 2017?
February
the Nick stuff.
How the fuck did I not know about this shit?
February 2nd's the podcast. February 4th's the pedo allegations. February 15th is Zaptie's, it's Tommy's stream. And then Zaptie's last statement comes in May, I believe.
Well, if anyone was questioning whether Nick did research, right there sorts it out. Jesus Christ. All right. I guess my first thing is I don't know, Nick. I feel like it's kind of crazy being the guy who's defending the 20-year-old guy from having sex with a 15-year-old or wanting to have
15.
Sex with 16. My bad, 16.
Yeah, I'm not the one who's defending that. The New York State law is not New York State, but the United States law. Federal law is defending that.
If you got a problem with this shit, I mean, I got a problem with that too.
Yeah,
my
it's not illegal, but it's fucking.
But they're calling him a pedophile. They were throwing out the word 13, the number 13 at the time.
They're going after him because they think that he was intentionally talking to a 13-year-old. That's why he's getting so much shit.
I know, I'm just saying. But then it comes out that there's pictures sent, and she's 14, and these pictures, a 14-year-old looks like a fucking child, bro. I don't know. It just seems so fucking ugly.
But there are 25-year-old Asians that look like a child, and she's Asian.
Yeah. I mean, I dated an Italian girl. She's kind of flat, and if you took a picture from her next up, she wouldn't know she was 25 when we got engaged.
If she fooled the entire community, she couldn't have looked that young.
I guess what is the context of the "you're worth getting arrested for"?
We don't know.
No.
It's just whatever context she wanted.
It could be it's rape time context.
But it has to be in the context of the pictures, right? And
I'm saying that we need more context. I'm saying there is no.
No. I know what Willie's getting at.
You get what I'm saying?
I know what Willie's getting at. Yes. He at least knew she was 16.
I'm down to ask the question. I'm not down to say he's clear.
No. He's not 100%. Nobody's saying he's 100% clear.
You're saying he's not a pedo, but
he's not a pedo.
She was 14 when
he's not a pedo. A pedo is reserved for people that are underage, prepubescent kids, not fucking underage sex. It's a whole different fucking ball of wax. Yes, he more than likely knew that it was inappropriate. That's been 100% proven, and probably that statement, even without context, shows that. But does he deserve to be labeled as somebody who spoke to a 13-year-old girl when he was catfished to begin with? That's what we're saying.
Also, before we get into anything, I want to try to establish a bit of a timeline here, because this is what I'm usually good at. When they first started talking, the age gap was 19-16. At some point, this girl turned 17 and Zaptie turned 20. It's entirely possible that in the time that they were exchanging photos, it was either 1917 or 2017.
Right,
we actually don't know. But I'm just saying, you don't know the actual age gap. Yeah, 4 years seems a little weird, but again, it's not illegal.
I'm going off the numbers being told though in your video. Though.
17. What is 1917?
I mean, look. I mean, in the video, you hear Ellis the alien said, "Let's put this in perspective." But she didn't say 17.
She said 16. No, the number everyone's using is 16.
But her statement she directly gave me recently said I said either 16 or 17.
Yeah. Elvis and everybody's saying 16, so that makes me say
no. But it matches her initial twit longer. They went by her twit longer.
Yeah, she's saying 16. She's telling him 16. Fucking Anthony and Alex is saying 13.
And it's really hard to trust.
But she was only 14, right? That is true. She was only 14 when it was actually
turning 15.
Look. We could have nailed. We could have nailed Zaptie. Was getting out of this. We could have nailed Zaptie for being.
You don't understand. You're missing something. We don't know when she was 16. We don't know when she was 17. I'm saying that she could have been 17 at one point, or she could have been 16 at one point. She doesn't even. She's saying that she was 14 in the beginning and 15 by the end.
Here, I just want to clarify my point before we go on. I just want to clarify this real quick, and then you guys could go off because I don't know. But here, just to make really clear, is she says she was 16.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right, and then
Which is the age of consent in most countries.
If this is the right timeline, right?
Yeah.
She says she was 16. The text are exchange where he says, "You're worth getting arrested for."
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes out that she's 14, right?
We think.
14 turning 15, because that's how 14 works.
We think.
And then all this shit happens, and then he gets called all the crazy shit, right?
Yeah.
I'm still saying, obviously, in Zaptie's mind or where he's from, 16's wrong, right? Or 16.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody.
I'm not saying. I don't think that's right, and I think it's kind of crazy being the guy to say like, "Hey, 20-year-olds banging 16-year-olds. He's totally innocent."
No, we're
like,
just saying that the punishment didn't fit the. No, Mac. Nobody's saying if that was my kid, I'd kill him. Nobody. We say the punishment. The punishment didn't fit.
A bit of a dick.
Listen. Yes, we said it over and over again. The punishment
you just said makes him a pedophile.
Everything. Nothing. Not a thing. Not
so
a thing.
At worst, he is a bit of a dick. Is it weird? Could you have moral problems with?
Call that a bit of a dick.
You could have more.
Or you could call him more of a dick. He didn't fuck a 13-year-old girl, Mac.
Willie, I'm gonna just if you're not breaking a law, it's not.
It's a thought crime. At the worst. It's bad. He may be a bad guy. He may deserve to get canceled. But all the lies these guys told, and the fact that
all those guys are fucked. I'm not. Don't put me defending those guys.
Yeah.
I just want to make it clear. I'm just not sure if I'm not sure if I'm willing to.
Look, I'm not saying he's morally innocent or anything like that.
He didn't. On top of all that, he didn't even fuck this girl. They were talking dirty in a text message. This is an relationship. Don't get. No,
but he planned on it. That's enough for Nick Henson.
That's a thought crime. We don't even know. Chris Hansen isn't gonna. But Chris Hansen's not gonna come on a situation where they legally could have sex. That's what I'm saying. If you have a moral problem with it, that's perfectly fine.
What makes it weird is it's only in her state.
It's his state too.
He was in Ohio and he's in Canada.
It's Washington, Ohio, any state that it could have possibly been in. All of them are 16, including the fucking country of Canada.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not illegal.
Let me help you out. Willie. You're saying this is still immoral. I agree with you, by the way.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's fine.
Bro.
But did he deserve this shit? You know what? Look. Again, you're saying we're the guy that's defending the guy that wanted to fuck 16-year-olds. No, we're not. What we're saying is the punishment didn't fit the crime. The lies, the information that was out was inaccurate and looks to be deliberately inaccurate. From anything from child porn to being with a 13-year-old girl and stuff like that. This is the crime he committed. Douchebaggery, and he talked to a 16-year-old girl dirty. That does not quite. He might have been able to survive that. Might have.
Right. So my only other thing on the child porn thing is she's not naked, but if it's still dirty ass photos and they're still talking all sexy,
you don't understand. They were fucked up. The pictures in her underwear were also posted publicly on her Twitter.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's right either. But
I'm just saying, what's the difference between sending it directly to someone and posting it publicly for everyone else?
I would have never called this guy. I would never joked about this guy being a pedophile if I had all this information. I would have just said, "What a fucking asshole." I don't throw. I've made this abundantly clear in other situations, Mac.
Yeah.
That you actually gotta fit that shit.
Look, I'm not saying pedo either, but I am saying if I had a 15-year-old daughter, I don't think I'd let that.
I agree, but I'm sorry. Nothing ever happened. There's no sexual activity between each other. There's definitely an inappropriate relationship.
I explained that right from the beginning.
Well, hey, she didn't. Thanks, Winemaker.
She didn't. She didn't say that I was 16 turning 17. She says I may have told him I was 16 or 17. Let me just clarify that.
So she didn't even know what she was. She thought she was lying about.
And without any, I'm sorry, it's really hard to draw conclusions from a girl who's been lying about her age since the very beginning.
Nope, sexual discussions are not an underage person. It's still illegal. She didn't entrap him, as far as we know. Then watch the fucking video. She admits to entrapping him. Ugh.
Yeah, no, she definitely did catfish him. No doubt.
She absolutely catfished him.
But if you fall for a catfish at 16, I don't know. That's pretty fucking rough still.
And she tried to do it again in the cash.
Did she really?
Yeah, with the help of Anthony and her.
At the same time, she actually cheated on Zaptie.
Yeah, I get a few more likes.
Apparently sending...
She cheated.
The catfish cheated on Zaptie.
The classic catfish cheat.
I've never heard of a story like that in my life.
All right, let's listen to him talk.
All right, let's continue watching this. I want to see you guys body some people.
Yeah. Let's listen to this. As much as I can handle with this asshole.
Welcome back to another live stream. I cut my fucking face while shaving.
And I guess this is the part when Zaptie finally comes out, and this is in May. And for some reason, it says the Tommy C is over party. He denied all this guy asshole's allegations, and they're literally pretending that he confirmed them. And that makes it over for me.
By the way, Will Wallace in the chat wrote, "I'm willing to bet Hyojin was somehow involved." Oh, she was.
Yeah, she was.
She absolutely was. She's actually one of the people who's been pushing the pedophile narrative on him. She made a comment saying when he came back, this is going to be in video number 2. She made a comment saying, "Wow, if I make a banger video, I guess I could get away with murder too." And she was like posting comments on tweets that were talking about Zaptie touching a baby's penis. Like, yeah, no, she's just as deplorable as she was a month ago.
Yeah, and I'm sure she hasn't changed a bit. There was no conspiracy. Yeah, we only have a tweet saying you're fucking conspiring against him.
That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep.
This is them, not me.
You should use that for an intro one.
Yeah, right.
What's the point?
Oh, you're parodying Tommy C. No. Oh, so you just sit on it and then just like shout about the commentary community.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like lads on tour. They're funny.
The commentary community shit.
It is shit.
It's fucking bad. It's just like
you're the biggest piece of shit in it.
Bunch of people who so originally commentary was just like a way to fuck around, right? Like it was just a way to use skit to make like funny content. Like I never really made videos.
So it wasn't around to commentate.
Tons of people where I was like, all right, like I generally hate this person, and then like a bunch of spastics were just like, yeah, I fucking hate this one. Oh, you make shit content. It's like no.
Nah, he's right about that.
One cares. You hate Derv. He's 14 years old. No, Derv must be euthanized. So, oh man, Derv makes more money in a month than you make in an entire year. Shut up.
Exactly.
It's toxic as fuck. Like, I mean, this racist shit in David Caesar's Gaming, all the names.
That's Loki, by the way. He's talking shit about Loki.
I remember being in Discord with when I had like 4K subs.
Yeah, it's Discord in its.
And it's just like,
he's running around giving money to everybody but me at the time.
I always was like, I always thought those people were fucking dodgy.
Oh yeah.
Like I used to like admin Oliver's server from a fucking like.
See, they thought that Zaptie's admission that he really wasn't a sociopath was somehow vindicated him, but then he would speak to me differently, and I never heard. I literally heard about the stream 5 days ago.
Length because everybody in
that's because it was streamed to 17 people, Tommy. This is almost impossible to get your hands on.
I made like 4 or 5 really solid.
Oh fuck.
Friends out there.
I had someone reach out to me with this stream saying I was one of the 17 viewers in this with iNabber before he blew up and ML Joe before ML Joe.
He never.
And then yeah, it's just someone screen recorded it and had it on their hard drive.
Oh, how about that?
They're all about.
Me and Lucas used to get on well, like really well. And then I found out like fucking 15-year-old French girl from France, and I was like, all right, well, I don't know if we're talking to him again.
Yeah, but he used to bait girls out on that server, like, just to give him a fucking role. Like, oh, I'll give you a role if you talk.
For me, it's just like, all right, you called one of your friends a fucking nonce to Keemstar. Well, I'm cutting ties with you instantly.
Oh, yeah.
So this just keeps happening to him. You know who he's talking about? Is that David Loki? Is that Loki he's talking about?
He's talking about somebody else now. I think that's
just keeps happening.
CS:GO. Yeah, there's so many terrible people on Discord.
Yeah, it's imagine.
Well, people love him. Like I was always on good terms with Chile, but like that 15-year-old French girl from France was like
French girl from France. Go figure.
But I don't know if we go too far with him because he's fucking nonce. But yeah,
that's a lot of money, I guess, for a person of color.
It's like I just don't get it. Why would you ever call your friend a pedophile?
It made no sense to me at all.
See, some spastic who hears this would be like, well, you could Zaptie a pedophile, but I didn't. I just said, like,
oh, yeah.
Fucks the wrong people. Like, that was
guys, he's not a pedophile. He just fucks the wrong people.
I mean, these people are unbelievable. Well, if I just used the definition and not the word, I actually didn't slander anybody. You fucking dolt.
Guys, he's not a pedophile. He just shoves his penis into children.
I didn't call him that. How dare you?
That situation, the only people who took issue with it...
That's the same fucking defense we used to use.
...were Discord people. And they would just... But, like, all their research was, like, absolutely fucked. Yeah, I mean, like, that situation wasn't good. It wasn't handled well at all. But, like, I still did not believe I was in the wrong in that situation at all. And I never will do.
Nah, you shouldn't either, because honestly, like, it doesn't help the fact that you're with people that don't particularly want to take it too seriously either. You know.
Oh.
Yeah, unfortunately, as proven by recent events.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's probably, you're probably being lied to, you fucking sock monkey.
No, actually, wait. Go back 3 seconds. You got to hear who he's about to diss. It's fantastic.
I can't even go back
Me
3
neither,
seconds with
'cause
this thing.
honestly, like, it doesn't help the fact that you're with people that don't particularly want to take it too seriously either. You know.
Yeah, unfortunately, as proven by recent events.
Exactly. So.
Bring back
yeah, if
bring back
Hot Wet
old
Soup-
dead hot wet soup.
Oh, so
was
Pig
it
and
diss on
Elvis don't want you to
Pig
take
and
it
Elvis?
seriously?
So that was on Pig and Elvis.
Oh.
They don't want to take it seriously. This guy fucking admitted defeat to me. He said he got it wrong and fucked it up. And the only reason he fucked it up is because he got so emotional because Zaptie had snagged his girlfriend too. And here he is, a couple months later, saying he didn't do a fucking thing wrong.
Last place.
Did they delete the video? Did they delete the it's ending video?
Oh no, because the thing is, right, so I suppose I'll go into more detail in that situation now, just like dead and buried. So fucking Ed tells me he's a sociopath. And then I'm like, okay, so I'm never gonna out you, Ed, because like he's my best friend. Then I get harassed.
I'm not going to question you either because that sounds crazy. Hey, I'm a sociopath, Alex.
Zaptie's got
I'm so
Alex's
sorry.
girlfriend. He's got underage girls. Zaptie's got everything, bro.
Yeah, he's got everything.
He's got every girl he wants, and he's a sociopath.
And that's another thing I don't buy about him.
Alex says in Tommy's podcast that what was it? That we didn't know about the underage girls. We knew about the 4 overage girls. Then 3 more girls came out, and then 4 more girls came out, and then he only named 3 girls, and we have no idea how many girls there are. But
Dude,
apparently,
this is such a pattern, bro.
And here's the thing.
way more pussy than Alex.
Yeah, that's the one thing that we can confirm out of all this is that this kid is getting a lot more pussy than
I don't even think he was. He didn't seem very aggressive to me. I just didn't buy this.
My bad, Tommy. Pussy. They
Sorry.
were
Bro,
really
email
in my
exchanges are
breath.
great.
Yeah.
You don't even need 8 phones for that. You can do it all
E-pussy.
on one.
You
You
need
can
a-
have different Twitter clients on your iPhone.
You can hit the ignore button whenever you want.
You only need 3 things for
bro.
a E-pussy. You need your right hand, fucking some KY, and a monitor.
Yo, if you're generic enough, you can video chat 2 of them at once. They just won't even know the difference.
Just by like everybody else, a bunch of girls and people to basically do something about it, right?
Yeah.
This is weird.
And it was like, I mean, it wasn't harassment really, but like every DM, every day, every hour, Ed this, Ed that, Ed's your best friend. When are you going to tell these people? When are you going to tell that people? Then somebody called me up and basically said, I know Ed is this. I know Ed's done this. I know you know. So I'm like put in this situation where I'm like...
If this is true, and I don't think it is, would this be Anthony? You know?
It's very possible.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
that's
that
if
definitely
that's true.
seems like an Anthony thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why
sounds
that
like
was a
everything he
great
did to
thing to
everybody
put
else.
together there, Tommy. My God.
Yeah.
That is a really good.
Yeah, he
Love
seems
it.
to. Well, I mean, if this is any indication of the way he operates, you know, I remember this fucking infuriated me when I saw
Dude,
it.
how come Alex always has the Vegas shit? 4 girls, can't name them. These people, can't name them. They were all telling me can't name them, but he's meanwhile able to tell everyone else what to do. But no,
Oh, yeah, I know.
these secret people are telling Alex what to do.
I have
Yeah,
a
Willie,
thing-
have you seen
Bro,
Solar
nobody
Shy recently?
defends what you're saying, Alex, when you're whispering in people's ears. Everyone knows it's you.
I have a theory. I've thought long and hard about this. He's
Oh,
full
God,
of
don't say
shit.
Oh.
Maybe that's my theory. He makes up shit constantly.
Are you fucking forcing me to say something?
Yeah.
And it was like,
I don't believe
and it
this
was
story.
like, yes. So I'm like, all right, well, I tell Jimmy and Aaron,
Yeah.
and we're like, well, how many people are affected by this? And I'm like, a good 100.
That's
Okay,
a,
who the fuck is 100? Come on, you're gonna drop a number like that?
Can I just point out this is the most
It's a lot of
fucking
e-pussy.
beta S4 profile pictures I have ever seen in my life. Look at these fucking photos, dude. These
Would
are
you
4
believe-
guys in this call? Are we sure?
I don't know.
Would you believe me if I paid an artist to draw me like Alex's profile pic? And
That's another thing. Alex just
That's a
said
lot of
somebody
money,
grabbed
I
his
guess, for a
testicles
person
at the club.
of color.
I don't believe that. I don't think they're there. Please stop laughing at me.
Yeah, but he said he had a nice pair.
Does he really? He's fucking 5'0". How big could his dick be? You know,
It was to small egos.
500. Yeah, just
100
keep the numbers
people.
going up,
I
chat.
just can't believe
So
he
I
says
was like,
100. I
alright,
can't even
well-
name 100 people, YouTube people right now.
Shut up, Aaron.
100, dude?
So it was like big YouTubers to small egos. So then I'm like, well, I get in a call with Ed and I go, the gig's up. This is mine now. And then you
Gigs
put,
up,
like,
Ed.
Gigs up, Ed. Somebody.
Hey, best friend Ed, gonna move with and win with you.
Somebody says they're gonna roll on me, so I'm gonna roll on you. Hey,
Can
buddy.
you imagine anyone unironically saying that to you in
Fucking
real life
punch him in
over
the face.
anything?
Somebody said it to me in person.
what the fuck are you talking
You
about?
fuck up at work.
And
Your
you're
boss
gonna-
comes up to you, gigs up.
Gigs up.
It's even worse. It's even worse because he almost flat out says that Ed was suicidal at one point in this. Like when he's talking about, like he goes, "Well, Ed, he basically told me that he was gonna, he was in a bad mental state, or something along those lines." And then he goes on. He goes, "Well, we were gonna move in together. I was really gonna help him, and then all this stuff happened."
Can we just point out he goes 100 people, big YouTubers to e-girls.
Yeah.
Why? What does that fucking
Hold
mean?
on a second. Hold on a second. Ed, the gig's up. Somebody said they're gonna roll on you, roll on me, so I'm gonna roll on you first, my best friend. Sorry, sociopath.
God, dude.
The gig's up.
You say Alex doesn't have balls? He's just continually made the same fake story like 4 times.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, that is the biggest pair of balls.
Gig's up.
In a really roundabout way.
Jig's up. Is that? I can't believe the English still say that. Sounds like
Yeah,
a
I gotta
fucking
tell you
bad
something
Sherlock
offline
Holmes.
when the show's over. It's something really funny. Just I gotta tell you offline when the show's over.
Oh, okay.
Friends are threatening to fucking kill themselves on Twitter, and it's just like, all right, well, this situation's so far out of hand. And I was like, I was a 17-year-old.
Blue Stink, how stupid are you? Are you always going to be stupid?
Well, he only had 1,000 subs. He's
but he infuriates. His stupidity infuriates me. It's offensive.
I don't even think he was a trap yet at this point.
Full-time YouTube, getting 3 hours night sleeps, and I was working on moving into a house with Ed at the time.
So I could screw those friends, Atozy and Chubbs.
I also want to say, I think it's fantastic how he talks about how mentally taxing it was to destroy his best friend's life.
Dude, really, we should feel bad for Alex here.
And not only that, I never expected this because I thought the whole thing was resolved. When Nick talked to him back in July, 2 years later, when Nick talked to him in July, he was still talking about Ed. Like he was like still around and active. What did he say to you that Ed was doing? Everybody's still friends with Ed, or Ed's still doing something to him? What did he say to you in that phone call, Nick?
Basically, it's drawing a it's a little it's far on me now. But we were talking about it. It seemed like he was still fucked up on the whole Ed thing, and that's kind of the reason I think that the whole I'm the Oracle of sexual assault thing happened.
Yeah.
Because he saw how this thing went, and that kind of shaped the way
you're the oracle accusing people of sexual assault, you cocksucker.
I mean, yeah, right. It's like
Remember, 25 of my closest friends have been accused of sexual assault in the past 2
everyone.
years.
Everyone I know is a rapist. He literally has said shit like that. I feel.
Wait, if 25 people were accused of sexual assaults, now how many accusers are in your friend group? Because if 100 were just on Zaptie, 100 were just for Zaptie, are we talking about 250 separate, like 2,500 people are coming at all the other people?
You know,
like,
it's funny. When I left for the Army at 28, I knew 2 people that did time for fucking murder. All right, one of them's out. All right, since then, I don't know anybody in all my time in New Jersey, right, and all the fucked up things I saw, and I drove a cab too in Newark. On Long Island, like in Staten Island, all over the worst parts of New Jersey, Carteret, Elizabeth. I don't know anybody that went to jail for rape. And this guy is they're all over the place.
It's like 5 people now, Tommy.
I know one guy who got caught with a gram of weed once.
Who's that?
And I live in New York.
Web surf, dude.
Oh yeah, but
I live in New York.
You live in a nice part of Long Island, man. I mean, if you go a couple blocks.
Yeah, I drive through all the shitty parts.
I know. Well, the Long Island's a lot like New Jersey. You know, it's like I lived in the nice part, but you know, all you have to do is go a block down the street. And
if you're going down a block down the street, you like open your car window and you're seeing a drive-by of police brutality, and then it's just whoa.
Yeah.
The one person we really do all owe an apology to is Turkey Tom, bro.
Oh my god, Tom's doing so much shit, and he's just like
that guy's got so much shit.
I talked to him. I said,
Tom hated me like 3 months ago, and I just saw he fucking added everyone in his Discord server and said, "Watch this video."
Well, I did talk to him.
Hey, Zaptie, if you're still out there and you're still into 16-year-olds, Turkey Tom is probably
Thank you, Ward.
I guess.
Thank you, Ward. but the whole thing was, I took him aside on that. It's like, you really got to stop defending that guy. You know what he did with fucking, with underage girls? He's like, yeah, I know, but I was such a big fan. I was like, I was a big fan too, but don't fucking die on that cross. Well, Turkey Tom, you outsmarted all of us.
Dude, honestly, good for Tom though for even just having the balls to be like, "Fuck it, I know what I like. Who gives a shit?"
Yeah, you know
Now,
what?
we're having our fun here, but I really want to drag this back.
Everyone still likes Michael Jackson, bro, and that guy actually probably did something.
Yeah, no kidding.
I want to drag this back really hard.
Hey Nick, can you look into Michael Jackson next?
Yeah, you know what? I got it. I got all the victims to talk about.
Yeah, look into Michael Jackson for me, bro.
We'll get you on the phone with Tito.
But seriously, just remember, this guy dropped out of law school to pursue YouTube full time, planned on going to live with ImAllexx, and then all of this stuff happens, and he had to go back to working at Chipotle. Now he's got no education. Now where's he going from there? This guy has really been fucked for the better part of 2 years.
Anthony? Where are the pictures, Anthony?
I've seen
Where are they, Anthony? Verify it, Anthony.
He had an account called McWiggle or whatever, and he tried to come back and just talk on Twitter, and somebody fucking found out it was him, so that all the major Twitters started tweeting out, hey, that's Zaptie, hey, that's Zaptie, and they kept spamming pedophile. This guy's life is fucked up.
It's no going back.
I hope it's better now, but Jesus.
However,
that's a lot of money.
And that's what I'm talking to you before. I mean, look, if he had done what he done, messed with it, let's say he slept with a 16-year-old girl, there wouldn't have been this kind of damage. If the truth is out.
You don't think so, man?
No, I don't. No, I don't. Because 19, 16, who fucking cares?
So here's the thing where I can't argue, Tommy, is I wasn't there. So I would literally didn't have a Twitter back in I don't know, the early 2017. So I didn't know he was being called like a pedo.
I mean, let's look at some celebrities. Look at fucking guy married his daughter, Woody Allen. I mean, look at Red Kiwis.
Married his fucking daughter, bro.
Look at yes, like the girl, the fucking daughter he raised, an adopted daughter he raised, right? Woody Allen, he walked away. Red Kiwis is doing just great, and we have hard evidence that he did. He sent pictures to an underage girl. He admitted it. Red Kiwis.
He admitted it.
He admitted
it. And then didn't he say
that
he did it a couple months after, like recently, like at that point after he found out like the girl's actual age?
Yeah,
that's a lot of money.
I'm not surprised though that in 2017, like that was it, because coming off of like 2015, 2016, if you got accused for that, it didn't matter. Like,
yeah.
You could have been totally clean.
Ryan Short says Nick is the anti-Chris Hansen.
It was fucking nerve-wracking shit.
I just got some information that apparently the dropping out of school was a bit before than when I thought it was. But either way, this guy was living off of Patreon. His videos
can't go back now. Yeah.
He had a part-time job, and then you know what he had? A future. Do you know what he has now? Nothing.
Future.
To be fair, though, there probably isn't a better way to pick up 16-year-olds than at Chipotle, though. So in a way,
there is.
He kind of got what he wanted.
Dude, Red Kiwis, his Fortnite channel's doing fantastic.
He doesn't even have to wait for 8.
I gotta stop you guys. I haven't lived in the States since 2004. What the fuck is Chipotle?
Chipotle?
You don't know what a Chipotle is?
It's shitty.
What is it?
It's like the whitest Mexican place ever.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Sense.
I used to go to family
You can
restaurant.
eat food there, but it all is exactly the same, just in different form, like different.
It's so bad that Taco Bell got voted the #1 Mexican restaurant in the United States.
Okay, I just check it. I never heard of it.
Like I dropped out of college because of that.
Did you?
Man.
Really, Alex dropped out of college because of that.
So he did get out
He
early.
says he dropped out, and then later in the audio, he goes, "I have to get an assignment due by midnight." So I don't even know if we can trust that. But,
Oh really?
and this is like within 5 months, so I guess he just skipped the semester, which wouldn't even make sense because it would be the summer class.
He started making money. This is about the time he's hitting 100K.
I was so red.
Yeah,
I was
and by the way, Willie, you know what's even crazier?
What?
Zaptie was about 100K shy of where Elvis the Alien is, and he's crossing 1 million in a few weeks, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is pretty wild, bro.
And,
I mean, to be
Zaptie
fair, if
was the most
Zaptie never
talented guy I've ever
deleted,
had.
if he just never deleted his channel, I think he'd still be fine, bro.
I think he would came after this, but I don't know.
I don't think he could take it. I genuinely don't think he could have.
No, I tell you something. For this alpha male cheater guy, he was such a weak. And I don't say a bad person, but he was a weak personality offline. That was my opinion. I still liked him. I don't care. You don't have to be, a big obnoxious asshole like me for me to be your friend. And I really liked him. I really admired him. And most people say it's my worst interview because I sucked him off. I kind of me and Turkey Tom when we met, we kind of bonded over how much we like Zaptie's content.
So you're saying he had like such a introverted personality that it just like terrified him, and that's why it went away.
Yeah, but I've met a bunch of these guys. See,
well,
they're
I've seen some shit, and it seems like that's the
I gotta
case.
be honest with you. Like, they're not like us, man. I mean, all three of us could have been raised in the same street. These guys, they seem extroverted with their content because they're so, they're critics. But if you get them, he looked like one of those guys that just couldn't stand being criticized. Imagine.
It seemed like Zaptie's videos is where he got to be himself, and he was not really able to do that with everybody. You know what I mean?
He wasn't.
Like,
that was.
It looked like an outlet for him.
Almost. And again, let me say this again. Like when I thought this whole thing was fishy about him having all these girlfriends and the thing that just didn't sit right with me is just how his personality was when I first got to talk to him. I remember how it was like that it's not consistent. It doesn't mean it's impossible. You can still be a shit. You can still. I think the reason he was talking to his 16-year-old girl is because he doesn't have the courage to talk to one older. I think that's
maybe the reason Alex thought he was a sociopath is because Alex just didn't let him speak because he literally talks more than anyone.
Sociopath and a compulsive
well,
liar.
Alex does say in here, he goes, well, he's a lot like me, so maybe Alex is a sociopath. And he just assumed that Ed was too.
They're both damaged, that's for sure.
I was actually talking to Ed about this the other day, about how that entire situation absolutely ruined me. And he was saying how it was not my fault, and I shouldn't blame myself for it, which was nice of him.
I blame you.
But I never want to be. This is one of the reasons why I'm so fucking skeptical having friends and YouTube friends anymore, because
how can you suck off your way to the top if you don't have any more YouTube friends, Alex?
Well, I mean, he's
on his 17th podcast and he's alone.
Oh yeah, the thing is, I've always had trust issues. But
is he alone?
Yeah, he's alone on his podcast.
He's all alone.
Yeah, on the Internet Sensation podcast, he just talks.
I mean, to be fair, whenever he shared a podcast, he was pretty much the only one who talked anyway.
Nobody could trust him.
It's just the same.
To be fair, offline, when you're in a call with him, he's the only one that talks as well.
Oh, no, it's really God. If you look at old calls when he had 20,000 subs to hear, he doesn't make any sense.
People were saying that it's my
that's a lot of money, I guess,
but
for a person of color.
Bunty King, your worst interview was me, cuck, and you still have nothing to offer, Mr. DeOrio.
Oh, fun fact, I believe the last tweet that what's her name made, Nintendo Girl made, was saying that, hey Bunty, me and DeOrio Anthony still love you.
Not great, because anybody of eyes with the same people
go play COD together, all three of you.
Tweeting about it for 2-3 days previous.
Yeah.
That is why we were pushed. We were all pushed to talk about it publicly. So we went on Hot Wet Soup and we were like, all right, let's fucking end it. But the only people who had issues with it were
Alex really he can't trust a word he says.
The people who are either really, really desperate for attention at the time or spastic Discord members. There was nobody who was respectable or actual friends of me or Ed in that situation. I still stand by this today, no matter if it offends people, because I don't give a fuck anymore, who didn't understand where we're coming from, because everybody who knew Ed knew he was pretty fucked.
Yeah.
Everybody had no fucking clue who the guy was.
Look at Blue Stank. Yeah.
Was it just oh, good, you...
Yeah, it was, Wang. You're absolutely right.
She did Purge Part 2. They were yeah, spastics, man.
Yeah, so when I caught you in your fucking lie bullshit, when you contradicted yourself, did that make me a spastic?
No, the way you pronounced spastic just now did.
You actually roasted him like crazy back in the day. I never saw that, but you
I did it right to his fucking face. He didn't do a good job. He dug himself a deeper hole. Now he's running around saying he's right.
Yeah, the best part is that Ed admits everything in his twitlongers.
Oh, my source just told me just now that conversation between Alex and Zaptie that they're talking about never happened.
I knew that. I could have told you.
Just told me just now that conversation.
Can you imagine?
Never happened.
Alex, you helped ruin my career with a bunch of bullshit.
I could do that offline.
It's not your fault.
Zaptie himself?
No. If it was Zaptie himself, I would say Zaptie. It's just somebody who's not related.
All right.
Yeah,
how
there
the
is.
Fuck would this guy know? I guess
we don't have any hard evidence.
I'll tell you offline. There is hard evidence. I just can't use it publicly.
Oh, really? Oh, but all right. Then I'm going to do it from my perspective. This whole narrative that they were best friends may not be true at all. It may not be true. It's just a role that he decided to tell people he had.
Wait, you're saying two people who don't live anywhere near each other and talk on the internet a couple times a week might not be best friends?
I don't know.
What?
Well, I consider you a friend.
Are you
I
fucking
consider Nick a
kidding me,
friend.
dog?
I mean,
I'm mind blown, right? Story cracks. I can't
but
believe
I mean,
it.
I consider both you guys friends, and I'm not ashamed to
Yeah,
say it.
I think you're a good friend too, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
It's
like,
different.
if my dad
You're my
beats me or
best
some shit, I'm
friend.
probably
It's
not
different.
telling you, Tommy.
Sure. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no, I get that part. I mean, but it's.
Hey, I got an A on my math test.
But he said best friend.
Apparently,
Yeah.
to Alex.
I should now that I'm thinking about it, I should have smelled through that too. I just took his word. I took way too much from at face
He's
value.
my best friend in the whole wide
How
world. We
wide
spent
world?
15 minutes a day
Yeah,
on Discord.
He's the best friend in the whole wide world that I threw on the bus as soon as somebody threatened me because I have no balls. So I definitely was lying then when the guy grabbed them because they're not there.
Like everything, word for word. And if you watch his Twitlongers, like, it's not his fault. He's a pathological liar, right?
You saying
Like,
watch
he is a
Twitlonger?
diagnosed pathological liar now. That is something that I could, like, he told me that. He could be lying, which is a pathological liar. But like, I'm just taking his word for it at this point.
Yeah, Andy, the pot's next to the black kettle. Yeah. Okay.
Lies
Sorry, guys.
He contradicts himself in the second Twitlonger, and I called him up because people didn't realize after the end, right? They just thought Alex did the end and never spoke to him again.
Yeah, and
Me and Ed were in calls every single day for 7 days. I mean, he promised me the last time I spoke to Ed before I went to Norway, we got on a call and he promised me he was going to get help.
Did he?
Because
That's the question.
yeah,
Good man.
and he did.
Now, here's two things. One, I don't think that conversation happened. And two, where was Alex making a video or something, going on Twitter and going, hey guys, Ed got the help he needed. We could just talk about that now. Ed went out and he got help. Here's
What kind of help? What kind of help for what? What is the help for?
You're my friend,
I think
but
it
I
was
have to
for
let you
because
go.
he was diagnosed apparently with major depressive disorder, and he had signs of post-traumatic stress disorder. So I'm assuming he got in touch
Did
with a
Ed get
therapist. and stuff.
PTSD from Alex accusing him of all this shit? Is that what this is?
See, I'm a
Alex had no
sociopath.
idea
I
it
don't
was
have
him the whole time.
I
bro.
never have depression.
It's like
I don't
the
get that.
Sixth Sense.
It's a good thing I had Vito BQ on the time because I have no feelings too. Like
Guys, the
Alex.
real pedophiles were in our hearts the whole time.
Yeah, I know. You know,
Yeah,
I
Tommy,
didn't.
I can't relate either to that shit, bro.
You know, we should give another devil his due. VWQ. He read this situation better than I did because he is. I don't think I'm outing him. He has some issues too. So I guess he was able to. Another thing is VWQ is a little older than these guys. I think he's in his late 20s now. He was in his like early 20s then, and you know, he said, like I just said, when I heard it, I heard Anthony. I was like, this sounds like bullshit, but. You know, I can't say if it's bullshit one way or another, but one thing is I don't believe this. I believe the sociopath narrative even less. And I think when Ed got that impression, he went the pedo route. So I remember VWK says in the video, the more I heard how horrible he was, the less I believed it. And it was the same way with me.
Wait, you're saying the people with the 4 profile pics right now don't know how to diagose?
No, first of all, there's one YouTuber here and 3 suck-offs.
He'd been in a situation like a couple of days back.
Oh, they
which
were
is
going to
nice of
college
him.
or whatever. Yeah, no, I heard about that.
Yeah, he's got like working jobs, but like it's so the real reason like it's sad for me is because he could have avoided it. He ruined an incredible future for himself. He let down not just his friends,
But you guys sure helped.
himself.
Fair enough.
And he
Not
was
just
so
his
so
friends.
talented.
Bro, you let
and,
him down,
a guy
dog.
like that should never, ever have been put in a place where that was happening.
You put yourself in there. You volunteered. You talked more in that podcast than the other 2 guys. And they were actually colleagues.
Dude, I don't understand how Zaptie put him in this spot. Like, that just is, it doesn't make any
Because
fucking
it's-
sense. bro.
here's
he,
the
like,
thing.
willingly
No.
took this front stage.
Look, nobody questioned anything until I said something. I'm sorry, I'm not patting myself on the back for that. That's a fact. When he said, if you all make a video on Ed, you're done. That was just an invitation for me. And then that's when they that's when they stabbed me with this horse shit right here. You know. So I had to proceed. I didn't stop, but I had to proceed carefully after that. It's fucking what assholes. Jesus.
But
You really give British commentators a horrible name.
at the same
Dude,
time,
the
like,
British commentators, man, they're like some fucking cartoon supervillains. There's a reason why we fucking grow up in every bad guy and every like children's cartoon is British.
Look. Fucking Pablos is British, and he like agrees with you 100%. What the fuck is wrong with these Brits?
like, I just feel bad because of the fact that I still feel like, oh, I really wish I could have done
What
something,
the
right?
fuck? Wait, what was that
But
tweet you just
it was
showed?
all on him. Because as
The
much
one I just put in the screen?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah,
was
yeah.
that?
All right, when I was questioning about their stupid sociopath diagnosis, this is when I first hear about DeOrio Anthony for the first time. Hey, Tommy, did you send your dick pic to underage girls too? Right? I don't agree with Nick's assessment that I was being called a sociopath. I was definitely told to shut up, or a pedophile, but I was definitely being told to shut up.
Do you send your dick to minors? Yeah.
Two.
No, I think you were.
Dude, they were telling Tommy to shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
they
they're
were threatening
Yeah.
Tommy.
Yeah, Pig,
Well,
they were
we'll
all
look into
threatening me.
you next. And if looking
Right.
into you means what they did to Nick Cash, then maybe they would have fabricated some information.
And there's Anthony.
Oh.
Zaptie sent receipt.
These guys are the moral equivalent of throwing a bag of weed in the car the guy the cops just arrested.
Yeah, I know. Oh, you're my best friend, but you're gonna have to take the rap for the weed.
19 years old, out of all the shit you could be into, it's like fucking this online. Throwing your best friend under the bus.
People think I'm nuts saying this guy's
Best
worse than
friends as
Keemstar.
well, mate. We
Crazy,
talked for
bro.
15 minutes on League of Legends
Dude,
today.
yeah, I was gonna say we played FIFA together.
Did you see that's what he started doing? When he started losing subs, he started a FIFA channel.
I like Jordy's daddy, so they're kind of my favorite, the Jordys.
just like we outed him, by now people would have known.
Yeah, for sure.
Guys, if
Like,
we
I
didn't
just-
make that horrible
it
podcast,
was so
everyone would have found out anyway. It's not our fault.
All these guys, and the reason all of them are Southerners because they're sucking off somebody at YouTube headquarters in London.
It's the situation, and I felt so bad because at the same time I looked at it, I was like, I feel bad for Alex being involved, but like I'm sure he feels like he needs to be. But at the same time, like
Yep, there you go. That's Blues Take commentary. Fucking listen to that again. I already listened to what Blues Take. This is why he sucks at his job.
it was so fucked, the situation, and I felt so bad because at the same time I looked at it, I was like, I feel bad for Alex being involved, but like I'm sure he feels like he needs to be.
Wow. What? This is incredible insight.
Does sound like a blowbacks comment.
That's Blue, dude, there has not been a photo to better identify Blues Dank than his current profile pic right there.
What is it, a furry?
And then what is that? Is that LT Cobra to the right with his mic muted?
No, LT Cobra was fucking 11 at this time. He couldn't even formulate words. They were
Dude,
teaching
isn't
this
that
kid to
fucking
read.
trippy? That kid's probably 11. You're right in that fucking.
I'd sooner trust LT Cobra.
Well, I threw
He's another one that's obsessed with all this pedo shit.
myself under the bus of the hot wet soup guys.
Well, yeah.
Like I said to Aaron and Jimmy, I was like, you guys would get annihilated if you did this cast because they felt like they had to do something, right? I was like,
why would they get annihilated?
Wait a minute, he said that he told
Because they're not as smart as Alex is.
I bet he never said that. I bet he never said that. I think to some extent, especially Alex, I think Bionic Pig and Elvis went into this like, we got to save our own ass here. I mean, Zaptie's great, but we're not fucking taking the fall for him.
I don't know
And
anything about
I think
Pig.
Alex
Also
went
didn't come
into
out
it.
and say that I'm Zaptie's best friend in the whole world either. So.
And Alex
Like,
went
yeah,
into
we
this.
work together. We talk sometimes. We're not
Alex-
as close as you think we are.
Alex went into this. I could come out a hero.
Yeah,
That's what I
that
think.
is how he was thinking,
Yeah,
bro.
that's it. I
That's
think the other
problem,
two were
dude.
just
All
like,
this fucking
holy
wanna be a hero
fuck,
mindset
we're
that
almost
fucking
we almost
British
made it.
commentators have.
Yeah, I think the other two were like, holy fuck, we almost made it. And this guy's fucking sending pictures underage. We gotta half-ass throw him under the bus and call him a sociopath.
Well,
and
that's
act
why
like
I'm
we know
so
what we're talking
productive,
about.
Willie. I'm an asshole, and I like calling other assholes out.
Yeah.
Do you know what's fucking so weird? Like, I can't imagine Elvis went into this thing like fucking knowing what's up. That dude's sharp as hell. Like,
Oh, he's a
when I
smart guy.
fucking talk to him.
He's a smart
Yeah.
guy. He also admits when he's wrong.
Me just
Yeah.
do it. If anybody if people are angry at me, they'll be angry at me.
Tommy,
I
my
just-
sources offered to come on the call.
Who is it?
Hey, Alex,
Can they-
bro, people
can
are
they
angry
say?
with you. Just to give you.
Can they
a heads up.
say? Can they say who it
My
is?
he said he'd put his foot through the he
What are
doesn't
you
want to
gonna-
say his name, but he would come in.
Who is he though?
Everyone's gonna be able to
all right,
see your
all right,
name
all right, wait, I
anyway,
got
dude, when
it.
you
In
go
order
on the
for
call.
who is he? Is he a what to who? What do we got? We have
It's
to
the
call
guy
him
we've been
something.
Talking about Tommy. It's the guy we've been talking about with the screenshots. And stuff
All right,
like
but I
that.
got to tell the audience that we're doing a stream here. This isn't a private phone call. Unless he wants to come off. If he has to give himself a name and tell him what his connections are if he wants to do this.
Yeah, because
I think
nobody,
he's not gonna.
man,
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
What are his connections, or what is it? What are his qualifications to even talk about this? How do I know? I got to give the audience something here. What is he?
I don't know what I have to hear what he has to say.
All right, put him in
Whatever
waiting.
he
It's
wants.
putting him waiting to call.
If you want to come in, I know you're watching right now. Come into the waiting to call on the stream. And
So
then,
we're all gonna see. His
I
name
do
anyway,
the
'cause
interview
he's gonna
though.
be in the Discord waiting to call.
I do the interview. You guys back me up if I forget something. All right, we'll
Yeah.
see this. Hopefully I don't wake up my wife because she'll start yelling at me. I said I wouldn't go more than a fucking hour.
Well, here we
Honey,
are.
we're trying to save a kid who's called a pedophile 2 years ago. Give me 30 minutes.
I can't believe I got stuck because there was a point in time where I was like, well, you can't beat him, join him. And I started using the same thing I did the last show, kind of, but it was a little different context. Like, it's rape time. You're worth going to jail for. I must have made 7,000 of those jokes. You know, and I regret them. Those are reserved for people who deserve it.
Where's the link to the Discord? Is it in the comments? Yeah.
I can give it to you. Hang on.
All right.
Sorry for the
putting him in
slowdown
the
of the show, but this has got to be done, folks.
Who's coming in? It's Wavy. It's Wavy Webster.
Wavy can't come in now. Squizzy is a real fuckhead new trips. Welcome, Squizzy. You fucking cunt.
This is Ed's close personal friend.
Okay, I can.
That's what it is.
And you're vouching for him. What?
Alex is coming on.
This is exciting, dude.
He finally answered my DMs.
Is he coming on?
Yeah, he should in a second. I just gave him the link. So.
I just got it. Oh, joke grenade. I just figured that out. I'm so stupid. Getting old, man. I'm fucking getting old. Sucks.
Amnesia, see.
Can he change his name to close personal?
Yes. Have him change his name to actually close personal friend.
I can't do a members chat, but I will do one soon, George. I'm sorry I couldn't upload the other one. I accidentally doxed my brother.
God damn, where are your brains, boy?
Well, if Zaptie's profile wasn't an actual just like teddy bear, he probably would have been fine, honestly. Being the pedo bear mascot.
So I can't upload that thing. I made a stupid slip up. Not that it could really affect the new member, Mike the Bike. Welcome aboard. All right, we're making this happen. I sent you the link. Now this, Kappa.
He's telling me he's on a phone. I told him if you want to do this, we should probably do it when you're at a computer.
Let's see how he sounds. We already promised the audience. I want to see how he sounds. If he doesn't sound good, we'll do it another time. If it doesn't, nothing against him.
Well, yeah, you can.
I want to hear this shit. I want to hear it right from the horse's mouth.
Shot for the point, bitch.
Zaptie is a real fuck new Twitch subscriber. Did he have to steal his Twitch channel, huh? Well, thank you, Zaptie. Why don't you come on?
They got him, this horse. They're going to fuck it.
Yeah, that's right. And we're going to fuck away. Is that it?
Oh, got him.
So
Got him?
Hello.
Friend of Zaptie, are you here, sir?
Zaptie.
I am, and I hope I sound okay.
Can you turn the stream off? Hello?
Hey, sorry, is that any better?
Yes, it's much better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Sometimes you gotta
I suppose
plug
you
in and out again.
I kind of want you to make a statement first, and then maybe I can question you after that. Like, what do you think has gone? How do you feel? How are you taking away Nick's video?
Nick's video, well, I haven't actually watched the whole thing yet. I got about halfway through it, and when you told me you guys were streaming, so I switched over to that.
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you, mate, it's a whole lot of weight off.
I imagine.
Because, well, yeah, Ed, honestly, you know what? I'm never going to say Ed has been a perfect person, and
Sure.
I'm never going to say that about anyone. Like, people make mistakes, but
He certainly put himself in this position. He did put himself.
No one's accused him of his real mistakes, is what I'm saying.
I agree.
A lot of bullshit.
Bingo.
Like,
talking to a 16-year-old girl when you're 19 or 20 is stupid, and this is why it could get blown out of proportion.
It's dumb.
For the
I
blood
wouldn't
gods.
have done it.
Thank you, Wang.
But honestly, I wasn't fucking famous. Like,
yeah. That's a good point.
You know, South Park had a really good episode on, fucking, I think it was Tiger Woods or something.
Mm-hmm.
And, all the characters going like, oh wow, I can't believe a man with a lot of money and power has sex with women. Like,
bro, I gotta ask. You're Australian. How are you related to Zaptie? Like, how are you good friends with him?
I'm not sure how much I can out here, but Zaptie wasn't always a YouTube commentator. He once was a voice actor.
I could see that.
I'm a voice actor, and we actually met through that community when we were about 13, 15 years old. So we knew each other for a long time. You know, since high school, you know, making.
And I'm going to add on the fact right now that I actually seeked him out, not the other way around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since you know, is Ed aware that we're doing this?
I don't think he knows about this stream right now. He knows about the video. I did send him a heads up.
Okay, I got a bunch of rapid fire questions for you. Does Ed know I fought for him before he went away?
Okay. Well, look, Ed.
Tell the truth. If it's bad,
you didn't fight for him, mate. You did fight for what was the available information, and I'm not going to criticize you for that.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw all of it, but I do not. I honestly have nothing bad to say about you because
I really did.
You took what you had and you made a logical opinion, but you didn't know everything. And I'm not going to, you know.
Yeah, you know, we were Skype friends. I sent him tons of messages begging him to talk to me during the whole thing.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
mate, you wouldn't have been able to get in contact with him.
Yeah.
It was literally impossible to get in contact with him.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know why he didn't ever make a video trying to clear things up?
Well, I think I can answer that.
Yeah.
Well, I want him to answer it.
All right, yeah.
All right, yeah. We got an interviewee. Go ahead. Why did he not make a video?
This is rough to say, and I'm not exact. You know, at this stage where everything is kind of already fucking out. Look, Ed was in more than a bad fucking place, and it got really, really, really bad. It's tough words to say. I'd rather imply them. If that makes everyone else feel more comfortable.
All right, well, just give your opinion.
But it got to the point where he genuinely did not care anymore.
Dude, we're on shot from the point. You don't need to censor anything, bro.
You don't have to censor a fucking thing. Only if it protects you or your relationship with him. Now you can say whatever you want. You can say something about me. You know, well, I hate to think that.
Yeah.
You know, I really liked that, and I thought we were becoming friends. We used to have some quick exchanges. I think he was one of the first big YouTubers to come on, like when the whole baited thing fell apart on me. I think it was just before or just after. I always really appreciated that. He never had any problems with you, mate. Yeah, I'm sure really he liked you too. No, I really liked him. And then you know what happened. Why did he come back a year ago and then just leave and delete his channel?
That one's actually my fault.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, we were actually gonna. Okay, so he was thinking about getting back into YouTube for a little while. He'd been talking to his therapist about it. And I've got some YouTube stuff going on myself. I'm not going to fucking spruik it out now.
I got you.
Because that's not the point of this. But we were actually going to start a YouTube channel together. And this is a little bit more of the corporate-y, businessy side of YouTube. But, you know, when you're starting a new channel, getting an audience is hard. But look, Zaptie already had an audience. So we were doing Halloween Part 1, and if you remember at the end of that video, there's the joke about reboots. Part 2 was going to be released on the Zaptie channel, but it was going to be rebranded as a channel called Good Airline Food, and it was going to be more than just commentaries and reviews. There'd be a lot of different stuff.
I found out when the video went up, I was shocked to see how well it was received. Why did he quit? You know, considering he had a pedo rap on him. At that point, it hadn't been disproven or even challenged in over a year. At that point, why did he dip out? Because for a guy who had a pedo rap, it was, I think he had well above 80%. That's excellent.
Well, honestly,
I think we have proof of this.
He just freaked out.
He just freaked out.
I think we have proof of this. Would it be okay if I were to blur the names on it and then put the screenshot to show what they were saying to him, or no?
Yeah, that's all right.
All right,
You can send that to me.
Those people, like, if I get tracked down, that's all right. I've put my foot out. But honestly, you know how the internet gets with defending and slash attacking these
That's
kind
a
of
lot of money,
deceptive
I guess,
people.
for a person of color.
And those people didn't, they have nothing to do with it because they decided they didn't want to get involved, so they don't deserve to get tracked down in any kind of way.
Send that to Twitter, by the way.
Yeah, I'm just blurring it right now. I'm throwing it in
Okay,
Photoshop,
gotcha.
making it as we speak.
Gotcha. So he just freaked out, even though it was really well received. It wasn't well enough received, or just people said really awful things to him.
Things like kill yourself. Like, I mean, you're going to see. Is that the screenshot you're going to show? I'm not sure what you're saying.
Yes,
but
yes.
yeah, literally kill yourself, and
No. Not a good place to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's a little different.
Sure
It wasn't kill yourself. It was full legal name kill yourself. There's a little bit more to it than that. It's not like, hey, Zaptie, kill yourself. It's full legal name kill yourself. Like, they now know who you exactly are, yeah.
And honestly, I think I on the outside, I kind of felt the same way. I kind of felt like, oh, look, but most people are on your side. Most people think you can, they don't care anymore. Like, most people don't give a shit anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't put myself in Ed's shoes. And I don't think anyone in the world fucking can.
No, I didn't find him, even though I liked him a lot. He didn't strike me as a guy that could take pressure very well. That's just how I summed him up. And again, I don't think that makes you a bad person.
Yeah.
He just struck me as somebody who was. I remember how nervous he was. He had to get a hold of himself before he went in the air. And I remember, this is like a YouTube hero of mine. And I was just so confused,
Yeah, Ed is a nervous guy, but he's also very smart.
It was before that. Back. He never talked to me after that. I begged him to talk to me and see if I could do anything for him, or what have you. That I wasn't going to turn my back on him, but he never answered me. He just put that statement out in May, and then last year the Halloween video, and poof. So
I got a question, Nick. So what do you think the consequences need to be for this getting fucked up?
I'm not into making consequences. I'm telling everybody this is what happened. So you could do whatever you want with that information.
Dang, dude, this is like a politician answer.
I agree with him. No, first of all, I can answer that. First of all, we can't send hate by YouTube's TOS.
There's a lot of African.
Well, I don't think anyone should take Alex seriously, but I also said that a month ago, so my opinion hasn't really changed there. He's still doing trending topics. He made a video with canceled in the title this week.
At what point do you not need to fucking face a legal repercussion now?
I mean, Zaptie could probably
this guy's saying,
if he had the money,
saying he deserves to be fucked by pigs and shit. And I don't know if he's that wrong.
Yeah. He probably isn't wrong. All right, I got the
screenshot. Should be fucked by pigs.
Okay, yes, Alex's relationship with Zaptie was not best friend at any time. Is that true?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. I have no idea where the fuck he got that from.
He makes him more of a hero.
I'm quite pissed off.
Yeah.
Well, they planned on moving in, so how serious was the relationship?
That was also never a thing.
You don't think that was ever going to happen?
Really?
Yeah, and I can tell you that was a thing because that's what him and I were doing.
Dude, if such
there's actually a lot of shit that Alex says that's actually about Ed and I's relationship.
Yeah.
That's the fucking weird thing.
So lovable that everyone wants to move in with him.
Tommy, I put in your DMs. It's heavily censored, but you very clearly can see what it sounds like.
Okay. Yeah.
And keep in mind the name that was written there was not Zaptie.
Put it in. I told you.
Legal name.
In this one, because your face cam's on. Put it in Twitter.
Okay.
Put it in Twitter.
Sorry, what was the question before?
So,
I was thinking about something else.
Willie, do you have another question?
No, I guess I got to meet Zaptie though. Maybe I'll move in with him.
No, honestly, he's genuinely a really sweet and caring guy, and he does put a lot of pressure on himself, and he spends a lot more time on other people than he does himself, and
I guess
that makes him hard to deal with his own problems.
All right, Tommy, you got it.
I can't help but be slightly skeptical right now, just because if Alex is willing to lie on such a basic thing like yeah, we are gonna move in together, then it's like, dude, Alex is either maybe the worst person on the whole fucking planet, like literally the worst person.
Yeah,
on
I
the
think
fucking
he should
planet.
be stuck by pigs.
Let's be real here. Let's
something's
be real
wrong
here. Well, let's be real here. Zaptie did say he was
That's
a
a lot of
pathological
money, I
liar.
guess, for a
There's a
person of
chance he
color.
could have
Yes,
literally
thank you.
just said that to Alex, and maybe he didn't even mean it.
But why would he say that? It just doesn't make sense, bro.
Let me read
And
this.
not much here does make sense.
Let me
to be
read
honest.
this. Hey,
I can't even imagine he even said that to Alex. I think he may have said, I'm thinking of moving in with my Australian friend, which is close to British, I guess.
Yeah.
Not as good, but close.
All right, let me read this. Hey, Zaptie's full legal name. Just a reminder, instead of threatening suicide, maybe you should just do it. So this is what made him crack, I guess.
That's one of the mess. That's one of the things I got.
I totally fucking get you.
Are they the same people, you think?
And then that's him saying under it, so this is happening now, this channel is not happening, I'm sorry. And it backs up what he just said.
Because he can't deal with it. He can't deal with it. And there's no way for him to come back and not have to deal with that even now. Even if we clear his name, there's always going to be one or two. I guarantee you that Rory for Golden Glory still deals with pedophile accusations, even though Keem made it very public that it was a mistake. I'm sure he deals with it.
Yeah, the internet has a very long, bad memory.
Yeah, it's a long, bad memory, but a really short, like the good one's short and the long one's bad. It's bizarre, isn't it?
Well, the
Here's the
positives of
question.
that was I was sitting on the Reddit U2's forum, and they were still bashing Alex as a rape accuser, like this late after the thing.
Good.
So
Here's a question I got, man. Is there a chance you could get Zaptie? At any point, get him to come and talk to any of us about that?
His
Nick or
rules.
No.
Yeah.
No, not in a million years.
Why do you think that?
I've asked him.
He doesn't have the strength.
Like,
Yeah.
he's honestly, I kind of get it, and I kind of don't
He's gotta
get
be
it.
emotionally
Like,
scarred for this whole thing, but at
You
some point,
got,
I think
like,
you want
the
to turn around
thing-
and kick some ass. You know?
Yeah, but it's easy for yeah.
well,
I think
yeah,
he's-
that's
we're-
the reaction
we're
that
past
I have
Yeah.
and you have. But you got to remember that we're at the stage where we're still standing. You know,
Yeah.
Ed's been kicked he's been kicked the shit out of. The fight has been kicked out of this dog. That's what that's yeah.
And
That's
he,
just fucking
and he
it. The
really
fight's
didn't have
been
much
kicked out
fight
of
to
him, man.
begin with, from what I could, the impression I got.
Yeah, and he really didn't.
In the best of times, he didn't have
Like-
much fight in him.
Honestly, you know what? Ed's got a ton of fight in him for his friends, just none for himself.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And it's really sad.
It's too bad.
Like, because he's a good person.
No, I've met people like that, so I can't say like
Yeah, I know.
that. You know,
You got to put this in perspective that it's been 3 years. 3 years of having to make new social media accounts because people tracked you down. 3 years of attempting to come back. I think he tried twice publicly that I even know about and getting just the same pushback. And at those times, yeah, the genuine consensus around the entire community was he did it. He was that thing.
Mhm.
But when I talk to other creators, and I'm talking to guys like Tro and all those other people, they also came back with, yeah, maybe I don't think he did everything they're saying. But at the end of the day, the overwhelming thing is that people thought he did that. Now, maybe if the thing shifts, I would like to see where he is.
Tommy, you got
Sorry,
any more questions?
you just reminded me on another huge reason he didn't come back, and this just slipped my mind. But it was like a big part of the reason he didn't come back was the people forgiving him, because he, like in his mind, he's never cleared of his made up crimes. You know, everyone thought he was a fucking pedophile, and then he comes back, and there's a bunch of people saying like, oh yeah, you know, you did a bad thing in the past, but it's all right now.
Yeah.
Ed doesn't agree with that. Ed doesn't think you can be a pedophile and just come around again. And he sees those people and he's gone, oh shit, that's my team? Like,
I know what
that's
you're
who's
trying
on
to
my
say.
side?
Yeah, it's not, oh, you never were a pedophile. It's, oh, you're a pedophile, but your videos are good. Like, that's still not the same
Yeah.
thing as okay.
Yeah, there was a lot of comments like that. And just, you know, when you think that's your team, why bother?
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean,
That's
this
crushing in itself.
You know, this is the most
Yeah, I
cutthroat.
guess it's the equivalent of like you and Nick doing that to me. That would fucking
Oh
be
God!
so...
I mean, Nick,
That's a lot of money, I guess,
Just
for
nothing.
a
Really, we were best friends. We were talking about going on a cruise one time.
I still
Honestly,
live.
Nick, that would really kill me though. It really would if you did that shit.
No, I still think the most guilty party is Anthony. I think if Alex wants to do some good, which he probably won't,
Yeah,
I'm sure he'll
Anthony's
double and
basically
triple down
reacting.
6 times till he's put in a corner. Throw Anthony under the bus.
I just can't wait to go see. I can't wait to see Alex at VidCon next year if he goes.
Well,
Shit, the dude's gone. Where'd he go?
Yeah,
I had one more question.
Oh,
for him.
he just dropped out. Is he lag out?
if you can bring him back, bring him back. But I don't think we're
one more
almost done
huge
anyway.
question if you were to come back.
What do you got?
Oh, he has to be here.
Yep. Well, you tell me. I was going to say if we don't get back.
No, it's super
Oh,
important.
he's back. He's back. He's back. I think he just connected.
Zaptie's Edward Snowden.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. It's okay. We understand. Normally, we like.
My one last big question is, since you're like the closest thing to Zaptie, and I, don't know if we'll ever like hear this again. Is it would mean a lot if you could shout out Turkey Tom's channel.
God,
that was awful.
Oh, Turkey Tom,
subscribe to Turkey Tom, everyone.
What? Has he talked to Turkey
Subscribe to Turkey Tom.
Oh, that's good. I got to be honest with you. That's his biggest fan.
Gobble gobble.
Nobody loves Zaptie more than Turkey. We bonded over like our love of Zaptie's videos.
Oh, wait, can we put that on real quick? Can you put on Turkey Tom's tribute to Zaptie? It's like 30 seconds long, and it involves pig singing. Oh, please,
Isn't it
please.
unlisted though?
Send it to
No,
me.
it's not. If it is, I have it downloaded.
Maybe we should finish
You gotta fucking play that.
Turkey Tom Zaptie.
This is a crazy. This is just
By
a
the way,
crazy
did
story.
you move ImAllexx for me?
Did I move?
What?
What do you mean? Did I move?
Did you move ImAllexx just?
Oh
for
no
me?
no! He wasn't in the. He was never in the call. We were listening to a podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's not coming in here.
Dude,
Oh, he only.
Right.
You know, actually,
We already
after he
got
talked
him.
to Tommy that one time, he said he's not going back on live podcasts when people are debating him. I can't imagine why that might be. What was the name of the video?
Sucks at it. He can't keep his story straight.
Tribute.
Jeez.
Zaptie never coming back. Yeah, Zaptie never.
I sent it to Tommy. Yeah.
Oh, please, please play
you
this.
sent it to me. Hold on, let me
It's on
check it.
Twitter. Yeah.
Okay. This is Turkey Tom's thing.
This is the
I'm not
greatest
ready to
video of
start
all time.
goofing him.
This is better than my video.
Oh, Jesus Christ! What am I watching here? Hold on, I want to make sure your reaction is in here before I do anything, though. Hello. That's the most important thing to me. How come you're not in here? The fuck? Hold on. I have to do
I can't wait to do this for another 2 hours tonight on Augie's show.
Oh, do you mind? Sorry, is your video still going?
No, you're gonna hear it. You'll hear it. You won't be able to see it, but you'll be able to hear it.
It's hearing it just as good.
Remove.
I do want to let you guys know though that about all the commentary videos about the whole Zaptie situation. He's seen all of them.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Well, most of them were like, what a great talent. It's too bad he did that to himself, if I remember. They weren't even that harsh on him. A lot of the Zaptie videos. I didn't think they were too harsh.
Some were, some weren't, and the word harsh is kind of it gets thrown out the window when the word pedophile is being brought in,
Sure.
Like everything is automatically beyond harsh when you're being accused of a pedophile.
Yeah, everything is okay.
But any kind of video that thought about it a little bit, like even if they didn't come out and say he's innocent, even if they said, oh, I think there's something fishy here, like as long as they just use their brain a little bit, like he genuinely really appreciated it.
Really?
Like
well, Turkey Tom, nobody loved him.
Meant
And
something to him.
Nobody on this earth loved him more than Turkey Tom. I can absolutely vouch for that. He absolutely thought he was the greatest human being of all time. All right, let's finish up with this video. I've never seen this actually, so here we go.
I remember everything. What have I become? My sweetest friends, everyone I know goes away.
Can we add my version too with the dog, with Keemstar's dog?
Oh shit!
And you could have my
sing, man.
I will let you down.
Oh shit, dude, that is legendary.
It's so much better when you realize that Bionic Pig is the other guy singing in that one.
Well, Bionic, he's a mega talent. He can sing his ass off. He did this video, one of my favorites, and I asked him because both those guys, fucking Elvis and Big, they're just so weird to me. I deleted this video. He did this fantastic video, and he was dressed in white. Big did this, and he goes, "I'm a commentator and I'm self-aware," and he would dance around the room and sing. It was the funniest fucking shit I ever saw. And I think I asked him in April of 18 when I was in London, and he couldn't get back to me or whatever. I don't know, but yeah, he's a mega talent. Pig. He's got a great
kind
voice.
of been somebody that's I've been totally unaware of, bro. I've totally have kind of slipped past myself.
No, he's good. He's a really good commentator. I tell you the things of these guys. I think we have personality classes, but that doesn't mean I don't like them and respect them. I was arguing with him a couple weeks ago. Nick was flat out swinging at him, and stuff like that. Listen,
New Yorker, what do you expect, bro?
Yeah, I don't know.
I treat YouTube drama like a rat beef.
Dude, you're just a fucking asshole. It's in your blood, bro. That's what New Yorkers got.
This is my jaw rule, okay?
I do want to say, as an Australian, this New York accent is the most New York that I've ever New York.
That's a lot of money, I guess.
And I'm loving it.
Thanks, man.
Well, I'm glad we could bring you to our most beloved home. Nobody even likes.
Can we take Vexium before we get off? I'm sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
Why? What's he gonna say?
Oh,
what do you want, you weirdo? You gotta get out of here. You got the last call. Of course he's not ready. What a shock.
Thanks, Nick, bro. Way to end it anticlimactic, dude.
Yeah, I wanted to get
Hey,
out.
I can pretend to be Vexium for you if you'd like.
No, you'd have to screech like an autist to do that. You don't know how. Vex, are you here?
I beg your pardon. I know so many autistic people.
Yes, so do
they are my people.
You're a
I have
YouTuber.
traveled amongst them. I've gone from tribe to tribe.
Vex, I'm literally going to hang up on you unless you say something in the next 5 seconds. I'm not kidding.
Zaptie.
I would be a fucking shot from.
Oh, there we go.
There he is. What do you want, Vex? I want to get out of here.
Oh, good. Get out of it. Go live.
What the fuck? Why did you come in here and act like I'm gonna punch you in the fucking mouth?
In the after show.
Hey, let me tell you something. You said, "Why don't you come to London and hang out with me? I'll punch you in the face." How about that?
I'll make sure I vlog it. I'll make a video called Tommy C bullied me.
You know what? Invite Unfunniest, and me and Chubbs will beat both your asses.
No, you can't punch anybody because if you go anywhere near Alex and you have a physical contact, we'll assume that was rape.
We'll go clubbing, and then the moment you look at a girl, I'll accuse you of something.
Yeah, I was gonna say clubbing. That's a big no-no for YouTubers.
All right, Augie, last call because boy,
Honestly, about that whole thing,
yeah.
Who let ImAllexx into a club? Genuinely, there's no way any man with any brain would believe any kind of ID that he would hand over.
That's why I needed.
There's I know the card says 18, but I'm also looking at you, and you're clearly
to carry
not
2
trained
forms of ID.
I'm a YouTuber.
Augie, yeah, probably.
No, look, mate, you've got to let me into the club because if you don't, I'll say you're pedophile.
I heard those
Man,
guys.
grab my balls is a nonce.
I heard a funny story. I can't say where I heard it, but I heard there's some YouTubers in London. You know how you got that? I forget what's that one app that shows you how much money you have. It's called
Cash App or
no, it's YT.
I call it the Bendigo Bank app.
It's YT. I think I have it here.
YouTube Studio or whatever.
Yeah. YouTube Studio. There's this move that the kids from London do because they can't talk to girls. You know, they have their like fucking 10, 20,000 in the YouTube. You go that one page that shows you how much money you have for the last 30 days. And literally they do. If you watch it, you're not fucking online, Nick. They literally go, at the bar.
Oh shit, like Social Blade? I think that's what it is.
No,
Social
it's not
Blade.
Social Blade.
The most autistic thing I've ever heard in my life.
Honestly, that is fucking hilarious.
It's the dashboard. They show their dashboard and they're like, or they just go.
Shows their analytics.
That is so funny, actually.
See, none of my friends are impressed by me like showing them like anything I've done on YouTube.
No, my dad
analytics suck balls, bro. We're talking about fucking ImAllexx.
Oh god, you want to hear an embarrassing story?
Yeah.
One of my friends came up to me and went, "Bro, you hit 10,000. You're getting a play button." I go, "No, that's not even."
Play button.
Oh.
Yeah, I got a fucking wood. I went wood.
10,000 is a wooden play
The
button.
YouTube wood button.
Augie,
Is that what
send
they
us
give
off.
out to ASMR channels?
Send us off.
No,
here.
that's what Alex says that everybody else has. YouTube would.
All right.
At my
Augie.
wedding, I'm gonna have a clip of Tommy C saying, "In the Matrix, in the Matrix."
In the Matrix.
I like
That
the
should be the
Matrix.
intro
It's
to
one of my
part
favorite
two.
movies. It's one of my favorite action movies.
Is Augie here? I wanna see what
Augie,
Augie
send us
has to
that. Get us out of here. Augie.
You got 2 hours of Augie. He's going on tonight to do the same thing.
Yeah, good. Augie.
Hell yeah.
All right,
Hell yeah.
Augie. If you can't get enough of this horse shit, you go to Augie RFC. Or what? Definitely a friend of the show.
6:30 p.m. Central. YouTube.com/AugieRFC tonight.
All right.
Tonight.
All right.
Oh, and if you want to hear all the Alex leaks, we'll do about 10
I'll
minutes
keep the
of
show going if Keem comes in.
Wait.
There you go. What happened with
Are you
Alex?
fucking kidding?
Are
you fucking kidding?
Go watch Nick's latest
Hey,
video.
Keem, if you'd have been doing your fucking job over at Drama Alert, maybe you could have cleared Zaptie too.
Wait, Keem, ask Pescator.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've got a keen
Ask
link
Captain
too if
Bunny.
anyone wants that. This is just a funny one.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have to go back and watch. Augie RFC is tonight. Augie RFC. You can watch Nick's video.
RFC after hours.
You can
Hell
watch.
yeah.
You can go back if you came in late. You can go back and watch this one. Thanks so much, everybody. Thank you, Zaptie's friends, for clearing things up. I really wish the best for Ed. I think he's. I don't know. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Ed has paid his penalty for what he did do wrong. I think he overpaid. I personally think that I don't know.
This is a bit of a leading poll.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like one of those journalists
Let me
who's
hear the
standing
show,
waiting,
Zaptie's
he's got
friend.
their hand.
I think people owe him.
This is the almighty infinite, independent excellence. Devil fighting, rebel titan, weed smoking alchemist. Fake identities, okay, you cool with Jason Bourne. Running with these Wolverines, okay, you about to catch a storm. I ain't never been a liar, got tired of niggas playing me. Head in my legs like she about to catch a pedigree. Chi-town, the king's home, slapping fives, black stones. 6 mile to danger zones, bullets look like waffle cones. Folk affiliated to evolution of Machiavelli. Don't make me lead them eagles to you like I'm Chip Kelly. They feel my struggle, I express it through my hip hop. I'm about to make it hard to breathe, here's a headline.
Go to Augie RFC right after this tonight.